Also include Basil, Hayden, and Knob Creek are just $29.99. Plus, Payless stores have 1.5-liter bottles of Yellowtail wine for $8.99, and Fireball kegs, while supplies last, are only $69.99. And all 26 Payless Liquor locations are taking $1 donations to help Jack Daniels and Payless Liquors bring the troops home for the holidays. Online at PaylessLiquors.com. Don't pay more, get way more at Payless Liquors.
Football is back, and so is your chance to win with BetRivers Sportsbook app. Featuring our new multi-game same-game parlay. Combine the action of multiple same-game parlays in one bet for more action and bigger payouts. Bet the spread, bet the over, bet player props, and more. Throw in daily odds boost plus award-winning customer service, and it's a touchdown. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Indiana only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis. South Carolina hosts Georgia in college football action tomorrow at noon on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the Dickens. Double time.
Miles Turner.
Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. One of the highlights of every Bud Light Blue Friday during the Colts season, we have done this for a number of years, would be here at Taylor's Pub. We are in Nora. We're off of Westfield Boulevard, and we are just getting started. In fact, Sienna just came over and said we have not one but two pair of Chiefs-Colts tickets to give away. If you saw the act last night, the Chiefs, not only did they look good in coming from behind and winning that game, and I'm sure we'll talk about how much that I did get to see it last night, considering it was on Amazon Prime, that coming up. But not only did they look really good in coming from behind and winning that game, but now you've got some extra time in preparation for the Colts and the Colts opener coming up a week from Sunday. So there is going to be a lot going on, to say the least, regarding that. Now, the tickets were given away for a little bit later on. You got to get here, you sign up, and we'll move forward, right? But we have a bunch to talk to and about today. The people we talked to, bottom of the hour, Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, yet another Friday night, I believe. Am I right about this, Kyle? Is it week 5 of the high school football season? I feel like I ask you this every week.
Yeah, I think it's week 5.
I think it is week 5 as well. Week 5 of the high school football season. That and the visit from Bob Lovell, always brought to you by your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations, with one around here near you. Bob's going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. So we got that coming up for you. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio is going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, that's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. John Price is going to be here as well. And I have a great deal to talk about inside the lounge via YouTube Live. The camera is up and running. Thank you very much on this Friday for taking part wherever you are. If you're watching, participating, and listening via YouTube Live, thank you very much for that. If you're on the Facebook Live channel, that's fantastic. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming out. We'll talk to Don Fisher about Indiana football in just a bit, in fact. There you go. Also, the stream, the app, you got HD Radio and then 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan as well. But thank you for hopefully enjoying this conversation we're going to have today. Now, the injury report is probably something that was released by the Colts a little bit earlier today that you're not at all enjoying. So let's start right here. And we thought this would probably be the case. Alec Pierce, the rookie wide receiver, is not been released from concussion protocol yet, so he is not going to participate in Jacksonville coming up on Sunday. So no Alec Pierce at wide receiver. And we know that Shaquille Leonard also is not ready to return. So no Shaquille Leonard at linebacker coming up on Sunday down in Jacksonville. So those two are out. And here are the question marks. And here's what transpired today. Rarely do you ever see this, but the Colts decided against a regular preparation type of practice today, went through a walkthrough, and the reason being, you double back to Wednesday and then again yesterday. Wednesday, full pads. From what everybody tells me, it was pretty... I don't want to say hot and heavy. That's a good Seinfeld line right there. That probably grosses everybody out. Very physical. Let's just say it was very physical on Wednesday. And they came back yesterday and then went through it, as I've been told, pretty hard in a shell. And then today, obviously that was decided early in the week. It was decided to go the direction that they did and go through a walkthrough. Now, going back on Wednesday, evidently, Michael Pittman Jr. and Kenny Moore came up injured in that particular practice. Now, they say that there's no correlation between that and both of those players being questionable coming up on Sunday, which is a big deal. No correlation is what they say, but we'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on as far as it's not something that they're trying to adjust. I think somebody had mentioned a little bit earlier, just trying to do something different. The only thing you need to do differently is play like you did in the fourth quarter more than you did in just the fourth quarter. That's what you need to do differently. We've sat here and we've talked about the past going all the way back to 2014 regarding this matchup in Jacksonville, and I do think that you should carry that thing on your shoulder. You should think about it. And we'll get to more of that coming up in just a minute. I do think, much like Jonathan Taylor, that stays in your mind. Whereas Shaquille Leonard yesterday suggested, well, it shouldn't. It's like an ex-girlfriend. It shouldn't. But I think it should. I'll give you a reason why it should coming up in a minute. But no correlation, evidently, between the physicality of the Wednesday practice and the guys that came up injured in the injury practice that are integral for this team and its possibility of success being questionable, and especially when you look at Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr., for example, questionable. People tell me that you should see him out there, but questionable as it stands right now. What's interesting about that is we're already wondering where they're going to go. We're expecting Desmond Patman to be active coming up on Sunday. But we're kind of back to square one, aren't we, regarding this a little bit? Seems like we're always back to square one regarding this, aren't we? Just a little bit. Regarding wide receiver, and it didn't take very long. I mean, it did not take very long at all, which is incredibly unfortunate. Not a minute, unfortunately, did it take. And then we're just kind of back to where we've been, as far as the wide receiver position is concerned, and moving forward from that. But I mentioned yesterday this, where Shaquille Leonard came out yesterday and was kind of giving you the player speak. The player speak is, hey, we're just looking ahead to the next game. We're not thinking about what happened years ago. We're not thinking about what happened days ago. We're not thinking about Jacksonville like you guys think about Jacksonville. And I had mentioned, I think it's okay if you did. In fact, there is the change. All right, changing up practice, changing up training camp, changing up all this stuff, that's fantastic, but there's where you should change. You should change to me, and it's okay if you want to say, man, we got house back in January. It was embarrassing. They were laughing. They were joking. We haven't won there as a team, even if you hadn't been a part of it. Since 2014, it's time to be focused and go down there and win. And then you just factor in exactly where this team is right now. At 0-0-1. I think it's okay to have a sense of urgency. Now, listen, I'm not suggesting he doesn't have it or they don't have it. Probably do. Maybe he just did not want to share that with the local folks that cover him. That's great. I think it's okay to wear that thing on your sleeve. The thing about Shaquille Leonard is he wears everything else on his sleeve. He retweets everything that's said about him, especially negatively. Yeah, why not this? I would have to think that was the worst game in his Colts career so far. I would think that a lot of Colts fans would love to hear from all these guys, and I mean all of them, about how much this game does matter. And not just give us the same old line of, hey, it's just another game, it's a long season, blah, blah, all that other stuff. And I think we all understand how big this thing is. And we'll get to how big this is going to be for Frank Reich coming up in just a moment. But I'll give you a great example. You go back to last week. In preparation for the Colts, Lovie Smith made sure that every single stop in the Texans complex, that group was reminded of what the Colts did to them twice in 2021. They couldn't go to the bathroom without being reminded of it. It was in the workout facility. He reminded them constantly in meetings. It was in the cafeteria. You couldn't even go have lunch without being reminded about what in the hell happened against the Colts a year ago. Hey, granted, I know it was a tie, and who cares? If you're going to not care really on one end, don't care on the other. But I'm just here to tell you what type of motivation that you can utilize, and there's nothing wrong with showing that something bent you out of shape back in January, for example, like this Colts team. I think that's a great ploy. These guys, to a man, often will tell you that, where I got drafted, I saw guys that I thought I was better than to go ahead of me. That motivated me. These guys are world-class athletes. Being a world-class athlete does not come without incredible levels of motivation. And trying to find that motivation wherever you are, in whatever you're doing. That's something special, I would think, right? About still being able to play a game that kids play. Trying to find that motivation. Greg and Carmel sent me a text yesterday, and he said, you know what, this Colts team kind of reminds me of Rocky III. Reminds me of Rocky III from the standpoint of, Rocky in Rocky II ends up beating Apollo Creed, and then all the millions and the riches and all the perks fall upon Rocky, and without, I guess, a better example here, gets fat and sassy. And Mickey, as manager, knew it, right? So Mickey, what did he do? He started setting up fights for Rocky against tomato cans. Against guys that he could easily beat, that were no issue whatsoever. What did Mickey know deep down inside? Mickey knew that Rocky and Rocky III couldn't beat Clubber Lang until he changed his mindset. Hired Apollo Creed. They got together, trained together, new mindset, new focus, fictionally speaking. But I think it also does play to what we're talking about here. These guys to be that level of great athletic, just getting there is great in itself. But to be at that level, somewhere along the way, I will guarantee you 100% of these guys had to use some sort of motivation to get fired up. You make your millions, you're a part of the team, you're a professional, and you get all the perks that come with it. You got to still find something. This game gives you the opportunity to find something. That's why Shaquille Leonard's been a guy that constantly gets motivated. I mean, he could have some random dude from Shelbyville tweet at him or tweet about him, and he'll find it and become motivated about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that for a Week 2 game. In fact, I think it's necessary. I think it'd be great. I wanted to see these guys, and maybe behind closed doors they are, but I kind of wanted to see them more publicly outspoken about how embarrassed and at what cost the worst team in the NFL dealt the Colts in that final regular season game in January of a year ago. I think that'd be great. I think fans would be down with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's what Lovie Smith did. Just remind these guys just how much they got dominated by the Colts last year. I don't know if that was the reason why. To me, it was more the Colts stunk than anything else. There's nothing wrong. These guys are always trying to find motivation. I think at this point in time, not only is that a value, but I think that's also a value when you're trying to make everybody believe that you're actually a player, that you're actually a good team, that you're not a tying team with a Texan squad. You watch Houston get absolutely blown out of the water at Denver coming up this weekend. You watch. The other aspect of this that to me should be a standard is the fact that you cannot dismiss where your head coach might be if you go down there and keep that trend alive and lose in Jacksonville. I know it's been since our good friend Rick Venturi. It's been a long time, unless you want to go ahead and factor in Pep Hamilton as the offensive coordinator as far as in-season stuff is concerned. But as you get reminded regarding Rick Venturi years ago, sometimes there is a breaking point. Sometimes there is. You know, I have stated this. I think FUBAR starts if you go 0-3-1. I think that's when the wheels fall off, and that's when the owner decides to go ahead and do something. Do something that he has never done outside of an offensive coordinator. Do something that his dad would have done. Maybe not, though. Don't really know. You start out 0-1-1 against a couple of teams that are probably going to end up with 4 at best, maybe 5 wins on the season. If you look similar to how you looked, and again, you go back to the Jacksonville game here a year ago, back in the fall, it didn't look that much better, did it? I mean, did it not take a big defensive play? Couldn't remember. Who was it that made the big defensive play a year ago on Trevor Lawrence? Can't remember who that was. I know it was Grover Stewart, certainly, against Houston, that really allowed them to have a tie in that game, big play-wise. But when you think about it, it wasn't that great when they were here. But I think you have to think about your coach as well. I mean, your coach, you're at some point with the fan base and at some point with others, there's no more directions for those fingers to point. I mean, you've done that to the kicker. You know, I mentioned earlier this week, I think, clearly, the players need that. Which would, I guess, bring me to this. Honestly, they've been in a divisional round game in Kansas City when Andrew Luck was the quarterback and Frank Reich was the head coach. You know, they've been there and they lost. You know, they won in Houston on the road the week prior in the postseason. So I get it. I mean, postseason games are certainly bigger and would be described as bigger for the head coach. But let's think about this logically just for a moment. And this may be a Connecticut water question of the day. Can we make the argument, a legitimate argument, considering that you got Kansas City in the home opener, they're going to have a long time off coming off a win. That's scary enough. And then because, for example, Tennessee's got Buffalo and Buffalo this weekend. In week number 2, you're going to have Tennessee. You may have a desperate Titans team coming up in week number 4. Might you describe this game in Jacksonville on Sunday, because of all of what I just explained, because of the losing streak, because of the way that it ended a year ago, because of the way that it started again last week, because of the tie, because of the expectation, certainly with 2 road games against 2 bad teams within your own division, and the promise to get off to a better start and changing everything around, changing a training camp around. Could we argue that this is the biggest game for Frank Reich as a head coach here? Will you make that argument? And again, I understand he's coached in playoff games, and that's different. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic about this at all. I think this is absolute. If not, let's come up with some games that certainly would be more meaningful. I'm not just talking about like last year. I mean, he wasn't going anywhere last year. I know you could have said that if you wanted to before the Raider game, but it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. You could have said that if you wanted to before the Jaguars game. May have made a little bit more sense, but it still wouldn't have made any sense. We knew that he wasn't going to go anywhere. But now you go 0-1-1 with two bad teams within your own division on the road, and the prospect of Kansas City and Tennessee to follow. You make the argument that this is the biggest game? I'm not saying it's absolute, but you can certainly talk about it, right? You can make that argument. We'll hit that for you at 239-1070. On Twitter at JMV1070. We're inside the lounge via YouTube Live. I will log on in just a second and see what you guys are talking about as well. Listen, I don't think this is not stirring it up. This is not me walking through knee-deep hyperbole. This is not me making more about a Week 2 game than it actually is. I think this is for real. You think about some of the angles in which I just discussed, I presented for you, and you try to tell me that it doesn't have at least discussionary this much meaning, or that it shouldn't. Oh, it's just another game. We've seen what they've done in the past. They're working their way back. That's not how this was supposed to be. Seahawks and Rams a year ago. All right, well, that's difficult. Texans and Jaguars within your own division that basically you have to win to make the postseason in a bad division where you have two unbeatens and no teams with a win so far within that division. The two unbeatens have tied. Make that argument. I have. I also make that argument for, hey, you know what? Maybe now's the time. If you have that level of care in a game, use that motivation a little bit. Yeah, show the folks out there that that's how much you care about it. Don't be cool. You don't need to be cool. Everybody knows you're already cool. You're much cooler than all of us. You're mad about something. I like Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor says absolutely. Jonathan Taylor told us before the start of the season how much that weared on him, how long that stayed with him in the offseason. I think everybody ought to be on the same path here. We can hit that at 239-1070. We're live at Taylor's Pub 2. We're in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard. I've got 2 pair of Chiefs Colts tickets to give away courtesy of Bud Light. I've got the ice cold Bud Light in front of me right now. I thank you for joining us today. We got a lot coming at you. Bottom of the hour, Bob Level, Week 5 of the high school football season coming up. We also have Mike Wells in the 4 o'clock hour. Clayton Anderson, the country music artist, will join me coming up at 4:30 as well. Don Fisher, the legendary voice of the Hoosiers, at 5. John Price is going to tell us what we should latch on to, and we got a lot more for you. Kyle, did you want to ask me exactly how I handled last night, Amazon Prime?
Did you have to sign up for Prime, or did you already have it?
Yeah, it took me forever. Took me forever.
So how much of the game did you miss?
Basically the first half. But I didn't get home. Lainey had a practice last night and I had to pick her up from, so I didn't really get home. But yeah, it took me a while. Did you have any blips? Anything go down?
It never paused for me. For you? The quality at times kind of dipped for maybe 5-10 seconds, and then it was back to normal. So I didn't have as many issues as it seems like a lot of people were having on Twitter.
Oh, really? Nothing at all, huh?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I don't know if I'm going to hang with this or not, but I thought it was weird because we're also accustomed, and even if there's not another game on, just to go, especially if it's an out-of-market team, right, to go to another channel to see what's on. Back in the day, I used to go to Skinamax, right? You go to Skinamax, all right, so wait a minute. There's an Emmanuel film on. Let me go see where they are in it. You know what I mean? Or, hey, there's one of my favorite films that I like. During this timeout, let's go see at what point in the film they are. Tough to do that, right? Because once you leave that, I guess it would be an advertiser's, much like this show, it's an advertiser's dream. Is it not? Because nobody's leaving. You think everybody's going to be locked in.
You wonder if Amazon is charging their advertisers a premium because of that. I mean, nobody's going to be turning off Amazon. Then you got to go back to it. It takes too long rather than just flipping channels.
An advertiser's dream, for real, is exactly what that is. Yeah, you make no mistake about it. Incredibly impressive. Did you like the product overall last night, too?
I thought it looked really good. Yeah, the cameras kind of reminded me of, I haven't watched too much of Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, but it kind of reminded me of that really high-quality look that I think looks nice.
I got to agree with you on that. All right, buddy. We'll take a break, come back. Bob Lovell, brought to you by CarX, is going to join us regarding week number 5 of the high school football season. That is up next. I want to get your thoughts, too, via YouTube Live, or if you want to hit me up, at JMV 1070 on Twitter as well. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, Facebook Live, the stream, the app, HD Radio. We are live at Taylor's Pub 2. This is a Bud Light Blue Friday where I want to see you up on the north side in Nora with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Sundown Gardens Big Fall Sale starts Friday, 20 to 50% off nursery and perennial items, and the Fall Open House is Saturday with You Pick Pumpkins and Sunflowers, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
A new Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store is now open in Meridian Meadow Shopping Center. Get ready to save up to 70% off thousands of items from your favorite athletic brands. Check out can't miss deals for the entire family, including tees, tanks, hoodies, sweatshirts, leggings, joggers, footwear, and more. Plus, new styles arrive weekly, so there's always more from the best brands. Check out your new Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store for the grand opening celebration this weekend in Meridian Meadow Shopping Center.
Oh, while we're in lawn and garden, I was thinking I should pick up one of those little things for watering my plants.
A hose?
No, the things that look like teapots, but for plants. You tip it over and it goes blah, 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 blah.
You're good at describing words you've forgotten.
Like those things that give the plants a shower, that you fill up.
A watering can?
Yes, a watering can. I knew that.
We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Recession, inflation, rising interest rates. Wondering what today's economic challenges mean for you? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, September 20th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event, The Economic Storm of 2022 and Your Wealth, a roundtable discussion hosted by best-selling author Gene Shatsky and featuring wealth planners from Edelman Financial Engines. You can register now at planefe.com. You'll get timely insights into today's market situation and learn steps to consider now. Are you making the right financial moves? What could you be doing differently? Don't miss this important virtual event. Join Edelman Financial Engines for The Economic Storm of 2022 and Your Wealth. Hosted by Gene Shatsky on Tuesday, September 20th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. There's no cost to attend and no obligation. Register now at planefe.com. That's planefe.com. Edelman Financial Engines, from here forward.
Come back to the ultimate rock Christmas tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, 2 shows. Sunday, December 11th, Cambridge Fieldhouse. Millions have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestras, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more.
Verizon Connect has a new AI dash cam with dual cameras. It's sleek, simple, and easy to install. Oh, and did I mention, it's AI smart. It'll give your team real-time alerts.
Tailgating.
And each video is automatically classified and sent to your team, giving you context to help coach your drivers. Best yet, it seamlessly works in one platform that tracks your vehicles, dispatches jobs, and much more. See how Verizon Connect can help manage your fleet at VerizonConnect.com/radio.
At Eskenazi Health, our patients are treated with compassion and skill. That's why Eskenazi Health is looking for professionals who share our mission and are dedicated to serving the community. As an employee of Indiana's top hospital for social responsibility and community health investment, you'll enjoy excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn more about Eskenazi Health Careers online at eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
Hey, it's Jake Query. The final USAC sprint race in Indy is this Friday at Circle City Raceway at the Marion County Fairgrounds, and the return of the biggest names in USAC AMSOIL National Sprint cars run here in the dirt on the quarter-mile bull ring, all presented by Maston & Kane Warehousing and Services. Brady Bacon, C.J. Leary, Robert Ballou, and points leader Justin Grant are just some of the stars that are slated to race. Circle City Raceway, of course, is family-friendly, great food, free parking, and outrageous fun. For more information, check out CircleCityRaceway.com.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com. Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, football fans, this is Scott McCauley, the voice of the Marion University Knights football program. Tickets are on sale for this Saturday's home game as the Knights take on St. Francis, Illinois. Kickoff between the Knights and the Fighting Saints is at 6:05 p.m. Buy your tickets now for this Saturday and for all remaining home games today. Pricing starts at $10 and group rates apply. To buy your tickets, head to MUKnights.com and click the tickets link.
Football is back, and so is your chance to win with BetRivers Sportsbook app. Featuring our new multi-game same-game parlay. Combine the action of multiple same-game parlays in one bet for more action and bigger payouts. Bet the spread, bet the over, bet player props, and more. Throw in daily odds boost plus award-winning customer service, and it's a touchdown. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Indiana only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The bidding wars are ending, and it's officially a buyer's market. So what are you waiting for? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Join us at Buffalo Wild Wings and Speedway for Bud Light Blue Monday on the 19th. Drink ice cold Bud Light and sign up for a chance to win Colts tickets as JMV broadcasts live. Bud Light, brewed for the Colts and their fans.
The Ride with JMV.
1, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Taylor's Pub 2. We're at Nora today off of Westfield Boulevard on the north side. Bud Light Blue Friday. Somebody, if you're watching via YouTube Live, inside the lounge has just dropped in. Contestant, state your name. Uh-oh. There we go now.
You would have known I was going to be here because I told you I was going to be here.
I knew you were.
And then I heard you on the radio coming in. You're listing all the things that are coming up, and you didn't say me. So that makes me think you didn't believe I was going to show up.
Well, I will tell you this. Normally, I have to eyeball it first. I have to see it because sometimes...
But I'll usually say, hey,
sometimes,
not going to make it. And
but that doesn't protect me, though, because I still put it out there.
Oh,
and
I'm
it's
sure
nice that you give
so
me
upset that if I don't
would you
show
guys,
up.
Okay, if you guys knew that you could sit and
You
stare
can't
at us.
publicize that.
Would you be disappointed?
And I sent you a handsome photo of me and you and Blake from years ago yesterday.
I did see that.
No response.
I did see that.
Not a response.
Well, you sent that because you sent one with Tucker Barnhart, too.
Yeah, I was
Barnhart sends on that.
for a story I'm working on. I was looking for some old pictures, and so I got through that time, that time frame, and I'm like, oh, look, that's like 6 years ago, me, you, and Tucker at a remote.
We don't look any different.
I think we both look really good, to be honest with you.
All right, Hagen, hold tight from 59. He's with us. We'd love to see you Chiefs Colts tickets to give away courtesy of Bud Light. Also, $4.25 pints, $10 pitchers while I'm here of ice cold Bud Light. I've got the bucket, so come on out and join us. Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. Every Friday is on this show, brought to you by the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. Shout out to Ryan and Kevin and the gang that gave me the oil change today for the 295th thousand mile of the Tundra. 295 right now, thanks to CarX and your 14 Central Indiana locations. Bob Lovell joins us. Bob, have you ever had a car, you ever had a vehicle that reached the 295,000 mile mark?
No, I didn't. I mean, I had a couple that made it past 200,000, but not nearly 300,000. No, I've never had that happen.
Are you impressed? You don't sound too impressed.
Well, I mean, a man with your financial status ought to be able to buy a car now and then. So,
listen. Here's what I said. I said I am going to. I'm going to drive the wheels off of this thing.
Right.
And it's got character dings on it. It's got some stuff that needs to be done, but I want to see how far I can take it by utilizing the normal type of maintenance. And that's where I am right now. $295.
When you pull that off, are you expecting to get a national commercial gig from Toyota talking about?
Probably not. No. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm an Andy Moore Buick GMC guy now. So, yes, there is no doubt I love their great rides. But this was long ago when I was with Toyota is when I got the Tundra going all the way back to 2010. So, true story.
Well, you just keep it going. You can let Blake and Laney have it and take it up to about $500,000 if they're lucky.
$500K be impressive, I think, if I get there.
It'd be really impressive.
Speaking of impressive, what you looking at tonight as far as week number 5 of the high school football season, Bob? This bad boy's just flying by.
It's flying by, and the weather, not to put a hex on anybody, the weather's great. I mean, it's been really nice. It's been nice weather every weekend, John. I mean, let's face it, it's been tremendous. Tonight is just another one of those wonderful nights. Brownsburg and Fishers, that's number 1 and number 9 in 6A. Pretty good stuff. I think a great battle, Hamilton Southeastern and Westfield. How about that one? That's pretty solid. That is a great matchup. Also, I love Roncalli and Guerin Catholic, Mooresville and Decatur Central. A lot of drama there because of Coach Gillen having gone to Decatur, coached at Decatur, now at Mooresville, and then Cecina and Heritage Christian, just to name a few.
So Bob Lovell brought to you by CarX, your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. CarX.com for that location nearest you. Via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, you had mentioned Fishers, and that's a great matchup with Brownsburg. Fishers suffering their first loss of the season in OT in that Mudsock game last week, 28-27. Probably will be a bit fired up to try to gain some revenge against Brownsburg on behalf of what happened to them last week against Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, I'm sure they are, but they're running into a Brownsburg team that's ranked number 1 for a reason. I mean, offensively they are explosive. They can score anywhere on the field. It's hard to bounce back after an emotional loss to a big rival. I think we all understand that. But that's the nature of how good football is in Central Indiana. There are a lot of good teams. You really don't have a chance to take a night off. But that's a really solid matchup without question.
Hamilton Southeastern, by the way, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, going on the road, they play Westfield. The Rocks are 3-1, Bob, on the season.
They've done a great job, John. I mean, think about it. Played for a championship 2 straight years, lost a lot of guys, have come back, and really had. I think they lost their first game, have bounced back, have played well, seem to be getting better. This is a great test. I don't think there's any question where you are. I think Week 5, John's always one of those barometer-type weekends to kind of give you a gauge of where you are midway through the season, and it won't be long before we're doing the pairing show. So, yeah, that's one of a number of great games, though, coming up tonight.
I know that things, you mentioned Mooresville, Bob, a little bit earlier, and things did not end well for them last year in the postseason, certainly, because they didn't go as far as they ultimately wanted to go when the bar was set. It does seem like, just looking at, talking to folks that watch them and then looking at these final scores, it looks like this team is laser focused this season because they're just rolling right now before this game against Decatur Central tonight.
Well, again, it's a big matchup, but I think one of the things that they've been able to do is they can score. They are an offensive-oriented kind of team, and they can put points on the board. Again, skilled guys on the edge, great quarterback, those kinds of things. But more than anything, they have a legendary coach in Mike Gillen, and he's won, 350 games plus for a reason. So it's an emotional night for Mike, obviously, but still, it's a Decatur Central team, I think, still in a situation where they're trying to find themselves. The start wasn't the one they thought it would be, but they have some really, really talented guys. the expectations were understandably high for them. So this is one of those games where you look at it and say, hey, if we are going to be the kind of team we thought we could be, this is the kind of game we need to win.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, coming at you later on tonight. He's brought to you by talking about Week 5 of the high school football season. Your 14 Central Indiana Joe Childers run CarX locations. I believe the game of the week coming up later on tonight, brought to you by CarX. Ben Davis and Warren Central, correct, over on the east side.
Ben Davis and Warren Central is always, you talk about a matchup. That's traditionally two of the best teams in the state in high school football. Ben Davis getting better. Warren Central, you talk about explosive offenses. There's another one. And so this could be a ball game, John. A lot of points scored in this game because these are two very capable offensive teams, have played well to get to this point. I think both teams capable of progressing well into the tournament. And so, again, we'll find out a lot about what these two teams are about right now.
He's Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by CarX. So what other things, both north, south, east, and west in the state of the Indiana, other games you think you're going to be talking about later on tonight, Bob?
Well, John, I think, there are some really, really good matchups, obviously, all around the state. I think a great one up north is Lafayette, West Lafayette and Rensselaer Central. That's always a great game. I think that when you stop and look at it, West Lafayette they're a team that can win the 3A championship without question. So, that is a really, really strong matchup. You can appreciate, some really small high school type games, those kind of smaller schools. Lutheran playing a good Cascade team. Probably the one that's under radar. People don't understand. Adams Central at Heritage. Adams Central has been in the top 5 in 1A all year. Heritage is just getting better and better. And so, Adams County is well represented because South Adams is number 6, and they're playing number 10 Monroe Central. So if you're in Adams County, you're like in the epicenter of football right now.
Nothing wrong with Adams County's the epicenter of a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not Greene County, but it's,
Well, it's kind of like Greene. Cow milking is probably, it's at the epicenter of cow milking. Greene County is too, right? So,
remember, everyone, that was John saying that, not me.
Listen, Greene County gets it worse. Everybody would say Greene County's the epicenter of meth.
Again, that was John speaking, not me.
Yeah, I'm from there, so I can say it. All right, buddy. I appreciate you. You have a fantastic night tonight and tomorrow night, and bring it as you normally do, and we appreciate you having you on every Friday, courtesy of our friends Joe Childers and the gang at CarX.
Thanks, John. It makes my week. Thanks so much for the call.
You got it, buddy. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. CarX.com to find it. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. There's Jay right there. Oh, yeah, you're on. You're on camera and on mic. Chris Hagan of Fox 59, everybody.
Wow, that's I filled in for you one time in the studio.
Yeah.
And I did like the first segment, and then somebody texted me and said, hey, you're on camera right now. And I was like, uh-oh. I had no idea.
You had no idea? Did you pick your nose or anything like that?
That's the first thing I said. I was like, did I pick my nose? And the answer was no, thank goodness.
I'm assuming because you're here right now, you're not going to Jacksonville, correct?
Not going. That'll be Dave Griffiths making the trip for us. He'll be live on the sidelines in our award-winning pregame Blue Zone show on CBS 4.
All right, I'm curious. I talked about just how important this game is. Can you make an argument that this is the biggest game of Frank Reich's career?
Well, put it this way. They lost in Jacksonville last year, and Carson Wentz was gone. They tied in Houston, and Rodrigo, Hot Rod, was gone. Who's gone if they lose this week? I think somebody should be gone if they're 0-1-1, because as we talked about...
The head coach, you're saying?
I said somebody.
Well, who?
Maybe the equipment guy. Somebody's got to go. I just know this. We looked at the schedule, and, the coach speak, those, every game's tough. We thought they were going to be 2-0. We thought they were going to win 2 division games on the road and be set up for greatness and maybe be 3-1 coming out of the box. But now here you are rolling this boulder up here. I'll tell you, the people say, tie, they didn't lose. Here's what they lost. People who bet on them to cover the 7 points lost. people who bet on them to win the game just money line didn't get that money. I know a lot of people who bet on them to win at least 10 games this year. The over-under win total 9.5. That's a big blow to that. You'd be alone in first place in the division right now if Hot Rod makes that kick. It tells me a lot, too, about the faith they had in Hot Rod in that they ran some kind of gadget play on third down.
Yeah.
And Frank told me that, hey, we were thinking maybe we pop that play, get 10 or 15 yards, maybe even get a touchdown.
Well, that was that wide receiver drag, right? With Michael Pittman Jr., and they ran that earlier.
It worked earlier.
For big yards.
So they weren't doing the old, hey, we're in field goal range, let's just run it up the gut. They were doing we needed something to pop here. So the fact that and then on Monday night you see him trot out a guy, we feel good from 64, and the Colts didn't feel good from 42.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find some high school kickers. We just heard from Bob Lovell. You can find some high school kickers in Central Indiana that are going to go out there and, drill it from 42 yards. And you can't, inside stadium, beautiful weather, just go out there and kick it and everybody wins. That was just a debacle. And from, talking to Mr. Irsay, he really wanted this game. When we had some interviews with him, he was trying to, I'm not going to make a big deal about this week one curse. They got to win this game. And a tie, I tell you what, to me, that felt like a losing locker room going in there. Just the way that the attitude was, that was a big, probably the worst tie you could ever come up with, is when you think about what it could mean moving forward.
That's Chris Hagan. Biggest game in the Reich career. You could certainly say that non-playoff game.
What if
you could say that.
When they were getting beat when they were down 20-3, and the Texans had the ball, and I was like, what if this goes 27-3, 34-3?
Yeah.
You get the same idea. If they were to go down there, and I don't think this will happen, but if they were to go down there and get embarrassed, not only lose but get embarrassed, I would say everything is on the table as far as what could happen.
I would agree with that. I mean, that's the way. I was talking about this a little bit earlier before I left the station, and I'm thinking for that to happen like that scenario would have to be like 0-3-1, for example. But you bring up a great point. If it is 0-1-1, and they're both like that, let's just say, for example,
it's crap teams.
Crap teams. I mean, we're talking about 5-win teams at the most.
Yeah.
5-win teams at the most. And you mentioned the next finger will be pointed at the head coach. There's nobody else to point
without
to.
Without a doubt.
Hagan's going to be here. We're coming back on the other side. 239-1070. If you guys want to jump on board, you can. Colts, Jaguars, and Jacksonville coming up on Sunday. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. If you guys want to watch, participate, I can see you. Hagan can see you as well. You can see us and watch, listen, and participate right here. Taylor's Pub 2. This is a Bud Light Blue Friday. The home opener is a week from Sunday against Kansas City. That gets all sorts of time to rest and prepare. So that doesn't make it any easier. Another reason why this is huge coming up on Sunday. We have tickets for you as well, courtesy of Bud Light. Chiefs and Colts tickets. It's a Bud Light Blue Friday in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard. Taylor's Pub 2 with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tune in to The Ride with JMV 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday for a chance to call in and win tickets to see Luke Combs on April 1st at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Message to Amy Spin Class. Happy 3rd 29th birthday, Amy! Exclamation point. Ha ha. Balloon emoji. Balloon emoji. Balloon emoji.
You're good at voice to text.
Pizza emoji.
We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person. And stop knocking on wood.
Hey, it's John here for the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations run by Joe Childers to serve you. Also a proud sponsor of high school football here on The Fan, whether it's the appearance a little bit earlier of Bob Lovell from Indiana Sports Talk or tonight's Warren Central hosting Ben Davis matchup, the high school football game of the week. CarX.com. There's your sponsor, and for one of the 14 Central Indiana locations, log on CarX.com today.
Hey, it's Jake Query. Football fans, the first Sunday of the NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers a can't-miss offer to celebrate the return of the NFL season. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. And as an added bonus for Week 1, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on any NFL team to win, and if your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code 1075FAN to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code 1075FAN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. Bonus issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers. And my friend Eric Wilson has exactly what you're looking for in a new set of wheels. Like a brand new GMC Acadia, loaded and ready to roll right now. I'll give you a great example. My good friend Jeff Watson went over, got himself a deal, and is incredibly happy, and you will too. Ask for Eric Wilson. Go with the absolute best. It's Andy Moore Buick GMC. 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers.
Exmark makes the mowers that care for the lawns, that set the stage for the backyard life. As the commercial mowers more landscape pros trust, Exmark mowers get you on and off the lawn without compromising cut quality, comfort, or reliability. Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life. Check out end-of-season pricing on Exmark mowers and stand-on aerator rentals right now at Midstate Truck Equipment on Allisonville Road in Fishers. Midstate Truck Equipment, 800-540-4479.
Sip and save at Circle K with our great new drink subscription. Join Sip and Save today and enjoy one drink a day every day for just $5.99 a month. Enjoy your favorite Circle K ice-cold fountain drink, Froster, or freshly ground coffee every day. That's 30 drinks a month for only $5.99. So sip and save at Circle K. Sign up in-store or at CircleK.com. Circle K. Take it easy.
Come back to the ultimate rock Christmas tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert. 2 shows. Sunday, December 11th, Cambridge Fieldhouse. Millions have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestras, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at the Bourbon and Brews Party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, everybody, we've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident, there's a painful life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you are dealing with it right now. That's where the attorneys at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. None of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. Even if you're unsure you have a case, give Parr Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experience legal opinion. 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's Parr injury.com.
College football coverage this Saturday on The Fan is brought to you by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your trusted independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Danville.
Ben Davis faces Warren Central on Friday Night Football. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I don't understand a word you just said.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Taylor's Pub 2, Bud Light Blue Friday. We got the ice-cold bucket of Bud Light in front of us right here. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away a little bit later on. You can sign up. Sienna's just outside the front door here. You can sign up as you go in. Shout out to Knockouts, haircuts for men. Oh, look at you. You guys are awesome over there. It's right next door. You can go check them out right there. I'll scan this coming up. Knockouts, haircuts for men.
If I had hair, I'd go over there.
Look at all this hair I got right now.
You've got grow your hair back. Grow your hair back.
That thing runs. Thank you guys from Knockouts, too.
You're on my
Thank
shows.
you.
When we go into commercial break and I see that, I just start laughing. I'm like,
does it show
awesome.
me sitting there and stuff? Oh, yeah.
I just imagine, like, you know how it is in the TV business, how you have to shoot the B-roll and all that. I just imagine you sitting there having to do the B-roll, and I bet you're like, can we just get this over with?
You know what?
Can I get out of here? Hey, how about the game last night? First of all, just trying to watch the game, but also nowadays, since everybody know, like, we're watching this up here, they got the point spreads on the TV. Everybody's talking about the way that game went down to who's going to cover that spread. Conventional wisdom says, and by the way, I won money on the game, so I'm not complaining. You. It's a 10-point game. You're down 2 scores. Conventional wisdom says on 4th down, you kick that field goal and cut it to 7. But they say, no, we're going to go ahead and throw this miraculous broken rib touchdown pass here. So, the general public loves to bet on the favorite. You have the home favorite. You got the Chiefs at home, primetime. Everybody bets on the Chiefs, gives up 3.5 or 4 points, and all of them got roasted and cooked by that 4th down touchdown pass when everything in the world told you, well, they'll kick the field goal here and cut it to 7, make it a 1-score game. But props to people like me that were on the other side of that.
We used to call it back in the day getting Dan Pastorini because that led to the flak jacket routine, right, as a quarterback. But Herbert, we know that around here for being Andrew Luck because he got a lacerated kidney because he was bent over like a folding chair back in the day. But Herbert looked like that he sustained something going on in that chest cavity right there.
When he threw that ball away on 3rd down when he could just walk for the first down, and he was like, screw this. He wanted no part of anybody getting within 3 feet of him, so he just went, But then he threw that dart down the field. You're like, well, you can't hate on a guy for being in pain, but, man, that was a gutty effort to pull out the let's cover for the Charger backers.
That situation where he just threw it out of bounds and could have run for the first down. It reminds you, this is great for all of us. We're playing in a pickup game, and you get that overzealous dude against you, and he's all up in your space, and all you get, Jesus, hey. I'm at the hash mark. He's like defensive stance right up in you underneath you. Go, oh, God.
I think that's what me and you would do if they said, hey, just for charity, you're going to play one play in an NFL game. That's what I would do. I would roll out and see a guy sprinting toward me, even if he was 10 yards away. I go, you know what? Incomplete pass.
Oh, my goodness.
But it just reminds you about how, the over-under, I think, was like 51.5, and it went 51. The point spread was 3.5, 4. It went 3. That's why it's so hard to pick a side and pick a total in the NFL, and that's why every week you see people, living and dying on that last drive of a game.
Would you be better off just throwing darts at a dartboard for some of this? Because you would. Right?
I had a buddy one time in Kansas City who's a complete degenerate. I love him to death. One time he just started rolling a die, and he would say, if I roll this and it's even, I'm going to bet the home team. If it's odd, and he told me that the one time rolling the dice, he had won 7 bets in a row just doing whatever the dice said, and that's what you're doing basically. You can throw out all your your research and your knowledge and your trends and your analytics, because at the end of the day, you're flipping a coin there at the very end of the game to see what's going to happen.
And these bigger numbers are just absolutely mind-numbing to try to deal with.
You know what's crazy is in week 1. 11 of the 16 games went under because nobody wants to bet an under because you're rooting against points. 11 of the 16 games went under week 1. Last night went under. So 12 of the 17 games played thus far in the NFL have gone under. So I think that's something you keep an eye on, especially first couple weeks of the season.
Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, it's written that underdogs don't cover spreads. They only can beat spreads, or the spread can be covered by the favorites.
Okay, who's this nerd?
Betting advice. I don't know. What nerd is this? Hey, Larry Brown, J-Law, which nerd is this? Stansberry? Let it rain in Jacksonville. He's a knowledgeable dude inside the Lounge via
what
YouTube
does he want?
Live.
He wants
right
it
here.
to rain in Jacksonville?
No, that's just his name. Let it rain in Jacksonville.
I got you.
I don't know if that means actual precipitation or money at the strip club, one of the two.
The strip club, I would just throw coins. I would make it hail. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be raining. I could see what you mean by you cover the spread if you're the favorite. That makes sense to me. But in common vernacular now, everybody says if the team you bet on won, you typically say you covered the spread.
All right, my man Alex is over there, too, because we have a JMV Takeover T-shirt that's been unleashed. Are you guys following the sales so far? Is it selling?
They've sold 3. Sold 3
Is
of
it?
them.
3 of them.
All to John.
More than 3? Wait a minute, you have to come over and say that. We'll get Alex on over here in a second. Let's have a break and come back. Taylor's Pub, Bud Light Blue Friday. We're wanting to see you here. Hagen is here. JMV, Ice Cold Bud Light, Chiefs, Colts tickets, and more. Alex will join us. We've got Mike Wells on the other side. Clayton Anderson, the country singer, at the bottom of the hour. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
One conference, 2 schools. Between them, they've won 11 state football championships. Now these 2 mid-conference rivals clash under Friday Night Lights. Brought to you by CarX. Don't worry, call the CarX team. It's East versus West when Ben Davis travels to Warren Central. Eddie Garrison has the kickoff tonight at 7. On your home for Friday Night Lights, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's John here for Love Heating and Air Conditioning. That's John and Chris Love, the absolute best. You are going to love what they do for you. Let me finish this up, and I'll come right back at you. Thank you. That's okay. My man didn't understand just how important it is to make sure you got it, guys. Got it. How important this love, heating, and air conversation is, because we're at the end of the summer. We're getting close to early fall, and then winter's going to be here. We got to make sure that our systems are running efficiently with Love, Heating, and Air. So John and Chris Love come over, give you a checkup, and make everything all right for you. That's Love, Heating, and Air, Chris Hagan.
And just so you know, I've done business with Love on several occasions, most recently a couple weeks ago. Best in the business. The people that come out there, professional, just great people. Make sure you're happy before they leave in that truck, and if there's any trouble, they come right back out there. So can't say enough about Love and John in particular.
Get them today, love-hvac.com.
The Sundown Gardens Big Fall Sale starts Friday, 20 to 50% off nursery and perennial items, and the Fall Open House is Saturday with You Pick Pumpkins and Sunflowers, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
O'Reilly. See the road ahead more clearly with Sylvania Bulbs and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase select Sylvania Bulbs and get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate, plus receive double O Rewards points. Replace your bulbs today and see better tonight. Let the professional parts people help you find the bulbs you need. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, everybody, let's huddle up with Caesars Sportsbook because they're the absolute best. Caesars Sportsbook today. Here's what I want you to do. Check it out. First things first, your first bet with Caesars is on Caesars up to $1,250. All you have to do is download the app, use the promo code RADIOFULL, RADIOFULL, and then place your first bet. If you win, that's fantastic. If not, you're going to get that stake back as a free bet. 4-point favorites, the Colts on the road in Jacksonville Sunday. Get all over that if you want. Every which direction you can do it, and do it with the absolute best. And that is Caesars Sportsbook. Here's why they're so great. They offer you perks that only Caesars can, like tickets, free stays, experiences, and more. That's Caesars Sportsbook. Download the app today. Again, use that promo code just for me, Radio Full. Open to new users in Indiana who are 21 years or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned as a credit must use within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos. For full terms, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
For over 25 years, Quality Supply and Tool has worked hard to set the standard for supplying the construction industry with all their industrial and commercial needs. Quality Supply and Tool adjusts their business to the customer, not the other way around, by offering a full inventory of industrial-grade tools, building materials, and concrete and masonry supplies. And Quality Supply and Tool stands behind everything they sell with a full-service warranty center staffed by skilled technicians that can fix about anything. Trust the experts at Quality Supply and Tool, a local family-owned company that thinks outside the box. Store.
Heaven Hill Distillery every single Thursday brings us the Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila shots right here on this show in the 4 o'clock hour with Brent Halverson, and we are at various places around central Indiana. So be with us play with us, have fun with us. It is the Larceny Bourbon Locks Luna Azul Tequila Shots every Thursday with Heaven Hill Distillery, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Come back to the ultimate rock Christmas tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, 2 shows. Sunday, December 11th, Cambridge Fieldhouse. Millions have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestras, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone, and you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Ray Hobbs, business manager of Labor's Local 741. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
It's the biggest open-wheel racing weekend of the year, featuring the Outlaws, All-Stars, and USAC. The 4 Crown Nationals, September 23rd and 24th. Buy your tickets now at EldorasSpeedway.com.
3.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. Mississippi State travels to LSU for an SEC showdown. Tomorrow at 5:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
There's a kid in my class that got a boner at PE in high school. He was wearing sweatpants. It was really embarrassing, so this song goes out to him.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Every man deserves a good woman.
Taylor's Pub, we're in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard. Bud Light Blue Friday, Chiefs Colts tickets to give away. Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is here. Hello, Chris.
Did you hear the promo coming back? Mississippi State, LSU.
It's a big one right there.
It's a huge one. We're going to win the national championship this year, I feel like.
Clayton Anderson, the country singer, bottom of the hour. Don Fisher coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. John Price in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll tell you how you can get the JMV Takeover T-shirts. Jay, did you buy a JMV Takeover T-shirt yet? Come on, brother. We got to do that. Let's get Mike Wells on here right now from ESPN Radio on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Go ahead, buddy.
We always friends. Can't you see how much I really love you? Gonna take to you time and time again. Oh, Casanova.
That's a hell of a song right there, Mike Wells.
Oh,
I talked to, for that 5 minutes, Karis LeVert was here, Mike. I brought him on and we talked about this song.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, Karis LeVert is in heaven right now, man. He's got Spider-Man with him in Cleveland. Karis LeVert is living the life of luxury, man.
Yeah, you know what? And now we're really going to see, because when he's been joined by others that are supposed to be able to play, he normally messes stuff up. You know what? It's only when he's been by himself when he hasn't messed stuff up. But we shall see. By the way, Chris Hagan is with us today at Taylor's Pub, Mike.
Oh, man, my favorite 2'5" ginger is up in the house.
I get shorter every time Wells cracks on me. Pretty soon I'm going to be just invisible.
Well, I mean, that's what happens. You know how it is. You get when you get older, you get shorter, fatter, and bolder. That's how it goes.
Two out of three. I text Wells this, and I told him we're up in the press box. It's right before kickoff in Houston, and I go, "Hey, has anybody seen Wells?" And I got a good chuckle because he's missed up there with his wise-ass remarks. And I told him when they were getting thumped 20-3, I'm like, man, I wish I could hear what Wells would be saying right now in this press box.
Oh, man, listen, I know what I was doing. Actually, I was probably talking to JMV around kickoff last Sunday.
Yeah.
Talking a little basketball and everything. And I went down to Yard House with Miss Layla and her friend from Collie Merrick and watching the game. And then I got home in the fourth quarter, and that's when they started playing a little bit of football, man. They started playing a little better.
Yeah,
it took the fourth quarter. It took the fourth quarter for them to get their heads out of their rear end.
I tell you, it was scary there for a while because outside of those two drives in the first, you had football, Mike, last weekend that was reminiscent of the football that was played when you were still covering them in Jacksonville back in January. It was that bad.
Oh, my God. But here's the thing. You know, people are like, well, they got back into the game. I mean, that's what you say at the YMCA football level. They made it competitive in the fourth quarter, blah, 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 blah. But come on now. It's the Houston Texans. The Texans did everything they could to try to give the game away, and the Colts still could not win the football game. So no, there's no sympathy, and I'm getting a tie, and it's a tie in football. Who cares about it? Who cares? Hey, Layla, I'm on the phone with JMV. Why are you yelling at me? Layla, I'm on the phone with JMV. Stop yelling at me.
What does Layla want?
Layla, listen. Hey, I'm on the air with JMB. Can you please stop yelling? I'm telling you. Hey, Layla and Laney, you can have those two together, man.
Man, let me tell you. That's great. I asked Chris this a little bit earlier and asked the listeners, too. You can make an argument that obviously postseason games are bigger, but you can make a significant argument this is the biggest game on Sunday in Frank Reich's career as head coach here. Agreed?
Hey, you know what's funny? I was golfing this morning up in Prairie View in Carmel. Shout out to Prairie View. And I made a mention of that to somebody. I said, on paper, it's simply the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if the Colts were to lose to the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last season, the team they haven't beaten in Jacksonville or England since 2014, and to fall to 0-1-1 with the expectations behind the season, I don't know how Jim Irsay, who we know Jim Irsay has no problem speaking his mind, I don't know how he stays silent. Forget waiting until they get back to Indy to meet in his office. I'm telling everybody to hold the plane, and we're having a conversation right after the game if they lose, if I'm Jim Irsay. So, yeah, I'm in 100% agreement. This is the biggest non-playoff football game in Frank Reich's head coaching career.
It's one thing, Wells, to say, well, they haven't won at Green Bay since 2014, or they haven't won, at Kansas City, but it's Jacksonville. I mean, there have been some good Colts teams, some playoff Colts teams. I mean, Ryan Kelly joked and said, hey, there's no voodoo, there's no curse, there's none of that. But at some point you have to say, why can't they win in Jacksonville? I know one of those games was in London when we were over there for that quote-unquote road game for the Colts, a home game for the Jags. But it's just inexplicable when you think about the run of bad luck they've had down there.
No, come on, Hank. We can't say bad luck. The run of just bad football. You think about not only last season, then you had the game in 2015 where they were on their way to just putting their foot on the throats of the Jaguars with Matt Hasselbeck as the starting quarterback, and then they had a late fumble in the first half, and it went downhill out there. Our good buddy Dwayne Allen had to drop in London on fourth down, I believe. They're just, and then they had Jacoby Brissett get his head cracked in. Andrew Luck scored 6 points on there. So I can't call it bad luck, Higgs. I just call it they basically knelt down and took a gigantic jump down in Jacksonville.
Hey, Gardner Minshew looked like an MVP candidate one of those games. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they've just been a bad football team down there. So, yeah, it's not like they've had, a bad call or something like that. They have just stunk up the joint just like the city of Jacksonville.
They've missed, they've had moments where they don't convert on fourth and, I think it was a couple of years ago they had a fourth and short. They could have gone up 2 scores. They try to go for it, doesn't work. You talk about drop passes. You talk about guys getting hurt, and obviously different quarterbacks. But it's on paper, all these games over the years just doesn't make sense. But none more shocking than last year when you go down there and play the absolute worst team in the league. And Win and in the playoffs. It's all right there for the taking, and all's right with the world. Who knows? They get in the playoffs, win a couple games. Maybe the old number 2 is still here instead of the new number 2 at QB. But it's
he was gone either way.
Yeah, I think he was gone either way.
He was gone either way.
But if they went to the AFC,
they could have won by 50, and he was gone.
If they went to the AFC Championship game, you think Wentz is gone?
I think he's gone. Yeah,
that's tough.
I do. Well, it is.
Tough call.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Carson Wentz was not going to lead the Colts to the AFC Championship game. he could have had the best offensive line, Walter Payton in the backfield, teamed up with Barry Sanders, with Jerry Rice and Randy Moss on the outside, and there was no way in hell Carson Wentz would have led that Colts team to the AFC Championship game.
So Mike Wells of ESPN Radio, Chris Hagan of Fox 59, I'm JMV. We're live at Taylor's Pub. Nora is a location on a Bud Light Blue Friday. It's funny. They've tried so many different things, Mike, to I guess change the way they come out of the gate. And last year you had Seattle. Last year you had the Rams. But this is the Texans. This is the Jaguars. And you look at how they played for the most part of 3 quarters a week ago, and then they ended up getting that tie. Had to make, obviously, a change at kicker because Blankenship missed that 42-yarder. Potential game-winning opportunity right there. I don't know what I do know what can get worse, but you think they can play off of that fourth quarter that they had when they finally came together? It took them a while, but they finally came together and played a little football. Is that something they can play off of?
Well, yes, they can, but my question is, all right, now, Matt Ryan had a solid game yesterday with some bobble snaps. He had to pick and stuff. But now, you got Pierce going to be out in a concussion protocol. You got Michael Pittman a little dinged up. Can you imagine if Michael Pittman cannot play on Sunday? Jonathan Taylor has to carry the ball 50 times and rush for 300 yards for them to have a chance to win the football game if Michael Pittman can't play.
Yeah, that was, you talked about we didn't see Jonathan Taylor in the preseason, but 31 carries, 35 total touches.
Yeah.
And you talk about, hey, that's not sustainable over the course of a 17-game season. They've got to find a way to spread it, right? And if Pittman's not there, that does put more of the onus back on JT, and I don't think you can live like that.
No, you can't. I mean, listen, they will sit there. The Jaguars will stack the box, and just say, all right, Matt Ryan, yes, you're a talented quarterback, but who in the hell are you going to throw the football to that's going to beat us? That will be the Jaguars' mentality, and that will put so much onus on the right arm of Matt Ryan and so much pressure. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead, Jay. You imagine? Let's assume they lose the game, go 0-1-1, and then you got Patrick Mahomes, who again helped by Justin Herbert's late interception. Sit there looking like it doesn't matter that he doesn't have Tyreek Hill in the home opener. It's just the worst thing that could happen for the Colts is if they were to lose on Sunday. They were to lose on Sunday. All bets are off the table on how the season can go, in my opinion.
Well, you think about that. Chris and I had this conversation. I mentioned this earlier this week. When people were asking me, there's no doubt that Frank is in the crosshairs right now, especially with the fans. And I thought at the time that, for example, a real FUBAR start of 0-3-1 would have Jim Irsay be doing something that he hadn't done since Rick Venturi, going all the way back to when you were still in grade school back in the day, Mike, in the early 90s. Or they haven't done, with an offensive coordinator like Pep Hamilton for a while. But you go down there, and much like he was embarrassed in January, you fall to 0-1-1 in an embarrassing fashion, knowing how much is riding on that game. Who knows what may happen next week?
Oh, my goodness. It could be a wild time in the city of Indianapolis. So, with that said, of course, are you saying the Colts lose the game? I mean, okay? No, you know what? I don't want the FUBAR, and I don't want it to seem like I'm cheering for the FUBAR here. I just go by expectations, and maybe this is more of a gauge, a test, Mike, of what we think we're going to see to what we're going to see. You know what I mean? Because we've often think, well, they have guys that are really good as starters, depth is the issue, whatever. Maybe we're just all incredibly wrong
about the level of this group. If they can't close the deal, step up knowing the consequences that could come to term if they lose this game. So maybe they're just not who most of the people think that they are when it comes down to it if they lose Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. I think all three of us, please correct me. You two correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all three of us are going to pick the Colts.
No, I made my pick yesterday, so I went with the Colts to win.
I think we all pick the win. But here's the question. Let's just take it a step further. Are you guys 100% sure the Colts are going to win?
No. I mean, you never are. You never are, and certainly in Jacksonville, and certainly with watching, Mike, you watch 7 out of the last 8 quarters of football from this team going back to January, most of which has just been unwatchable crapola. So, I'm not suggesting there's a trend from January, but playing like that, especially in the second and the third quarters on Sunday, to me is inexcusable. And then you have to question a lot of things if that type of level of play, especially after that fourth quarter of positivity, right, if that type of play continues on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, so, yeah, if the Colts go down to Jacksonville and they win by, 3 points, 6 points or whatever, and they're still to continue to prolong the mistakes that they had in week 1 against Houston, oh, yeah, the question marks are just fine. I think the question marks need to be there right now after what happened last week in Houston against the Texans. You can't sit here, and it's not all about Shaq Leonard not being on the football field. It goes deeper than that. I mean, you saw – they're already rotating players at left tackle. They're rotating guys at left tackle out there, drop passes out there. It's way too many question marks for a team that has high expectations to win the AFC South this year.
Hey, Wells, a quick side note. The best part of my trip to Houston was I got to go to Bucky's and spend about $70. So that was legit. What do you think about the fact that...
Wait. Hey, did you get any beaver nuts, man?
I did.
What are beaver nuts?
they're not called beaver nuts, but Wells and his family like to refer to them as beaver. They're beaver nuggets.
What are beaver nuts?
Like a little sugary treat. It's almost like eating some breakfast cereal. You've ever been to a Buc-ee's, John?
Never.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out.
Yeah. I went out there and my Tay's out there calling them beaver nuts, man. After seeing Hagatone on a bison, he's calling them beaver nuts. I'm like, dude, are you serious? You were definitely a middle school kid.
And then Wells got the brisket sandwich, though. He can testify to that. Let me ask you guys this. Doug Peterson's friendship and background with Frank, is that something that could get into Frank's head, or can Doug be in Frank's head as far as play calling and knowing what to expect? And could that help the Jaguars scheme come Sunday?
Put it like this. Carson Wentz and his relationship with Frank Reich didn't help the Colts out last season. I don't think you look at it from any kind of aspect of it. But a simple fact, I think the Jaguars, yes, they lost to the Wentz-led Commanders in Week 1. I think the Jaguars they are an improved football team. I'm not saying they're gonna they're threatening the AFC South, but they are going to be improved because they have a mature head coach in Doug Peterson, a guy who's not hanging out in bars late at night and said about the loss. So it'll be. I think the hey, man, why you got me laughing, man?
Yeah, the big herb. The big herb.
Is there a danger of... I was watching Nebraska football, and Nebraska's still living on the heyday, and they're just not Nebraska anymore. Is it a problem where we keep expecting the Colts to win these games because the Colts of the last, the early 2000s, the Manning and Luck Colts, they just win these games. Are we, since we're in the bubble, are we starting to kid ourselves like all these Nebraska fans are thinking they're going to get back to the glory days and they're just not?
Well, it doesn't help when the owner is talking about multiple Lombardis and comments like that. That does not help out the cause. I think it honestly puts more pressure on the players, the coaching staff, and the general manager when you got an owner who is very prideful. I mean, listen, Jim Irsay knows the game of football, but when he's making comments like that, I mean, it just puts so much pressure on the rest of the franchise. You can talk about it behind closed doors, but put it out there in public to the media, that's what makes it tough, and that's what has fans, yelling and screaming and wanting immediate success.
You know what's interesting, Mike, about this is I guess I'll take it from my standpoint, a lot of this stuff that certainly I've been talking about and have talked about, whether it was the kicking game before and the start of training camp, it's been the wide receiver forever. It's been, the focus on positions of need that really, in this era of the NFL, aren't as important as Chris Ballard would view it. It is kind of interesting how all this ends up doubling back, whereas most, if not all the time, we've been right. That's what the most frightening factor is. The most frightening factor is, right about the kicking game. Once again, you may find yourself in wide receiving purgatory already in week number 2. I mean, all this stuff we have talked about over and over and over again needs to address. This is what you got to look at. You're rotating left tackles. All this stuff we've talked about seems to come to fruition. Are we just lucky or are we accurate?
No, listen, I think we are 100% accurate on that because, it's not just this season. We've talked about stuff in the past. Not having a backup quarterback, things that have just come to the forefront. Listen, I was, hadn't even thought about working at IU as a full-time professor when you and I were talking about question marks at wide receiver, the depth behind Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah.
Who's going to play left tackle after Anthony Castonzo retired, and it was clear that Fisher was not the same player that he once was. Questions there. Who's going to step up for Jack Doyle after he retired? They continue to stay there with the question marks, and the answers are not stepping up. And we're not seeing any answers to those questions that I'm sure you have talked about nonstop since the end of last season.
Hey, I watched the fourth quarter of that game last night at the sports book in Anderson, and I was kind of standing behind a pole, and nobody could see me, and who knows, they probably wouldn't recognize me anyway. But I heard some just casual fans and it was not in a positive way about Frank Reich. So that's back to John's point about if they were to lose on Sunday, I think that's going to be even louder. But it's funny how quickly the fan base has lost faith in Frank, who I think is a great guy, but still waiting to take that next step as far as being the head coach, it looks like.
Well, a couple things. First of all, they didn't see you because nobody was looking down. And why were you way up in Anderson, man? You're a West Side guy.
Well, we Thursday's my Friday, so we like to go up there and play a little blackjack, play some craps, just hang out, and that's what we do. And then last night it was fun because there's a game still going on, Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah, that's understood. But no, I think a lot of people are starting to view Frank Reich as a very nice guy with question marks on his play calling ability. I think that's what, great guy, one of those guys that says the right things, but people are questioning his ability to call plays.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt. But I guess when you look at it, they could change a lot of these tunes around if they were to go out there and do what people would like and certainly would expect them to do. It's just we haven't seen that example. And that's kind of what you're going on until you actually see it. They do at some point have to prove it to you.
If you beat Jacksonville and then beat the Chiefs, all's right with the world. Everybody's happy.
No question.
And they're making fun of us three coming out. Look at them a-holes. Them a-holes were out here killing the Colts a couple weeks ago. Now
they're making fun of us anyway.
Sitting here at 2-0-1. Hey, what's the deal with next Friday night, Jay? We kicking it with Jodeci and BBD?
I'm trying. Where's Gino? DJ Gino, where is he? Where is he? I want to make sure you and I have a table for that.
DJ Gino, all of a sudden, he ghosted us, man, as the kids like to say.
I hadn't heard from him. I haven't heard from him. I'm waiting on it. Me and you and Jodeci and BBD and the SOS band, I'm trying, man. DJ Gino, we're at you. We got to get there. We got to have a table. Hagen would go, too.
What's funny was when I was younger and You'd see like Frankie Valli would be coming, and everybody, like all my parents and friends, be excited about Frankie Valli. I'd be, you guys are old and stupid, and now we're doing the same thing with these bands. People think
Frankie Valli's coming the 22nd of September.
No, he's still going. And then, New Kids on the Block are on tour, and so many of my people that I grew up with are so excited about and posting stuff on social media. So it's funny how you turn in to your parents, and maybe you don't even realize it.
Yeah, and by the way, did you just catch that, Hagen? I don't know if you realize that. He didn't say, he said me, you, DJ Gino. He didn't say me, you, Hagen, and DJ Gino.
I know, he kind of left me out. I'm used to that. Man. I'm used to that.
Man. Well, hey, listen, I'm going to reach out to DJ Gino again. I think he's promoting this. So it shouldn't be that hard to try to get in there, and because we got to be there. You know how disappointed I'm going to be if we're not there next Friday night?
Bro, I'm going to be hot. I'm going to be hot if we can't get up in there, man. So yeah, listen, we'll make. Hopefully, we'll make it happen. Hagen, don't worry, we'll send you pictures, brother.
Hey,
right?
I think John is racially profiling me because the concert he took me to was Jimmy Buffett.
Yes, I did. Hey, you know what? And I was in a bad mood, Mike, because I didn't smoke anything or nothing, right? So I was in a bad mood, and somebody hit me with one of those damn beach balls, and I took out my keys and popped it.
Oh, man.
And somebody said, somebody get that guy some weed, would you? Come on. Good God.
Listen, hey, you might take out your keys and try to pop something when Big Booty and a Smile comes on next weekend, all right?
Hey, I'm going to get up there. Would you go up there? Could you think you could go up on stage and do If It Isn't Love? And like we could play the role. We could be like, Johnny Gill and Tresvant. Go up there with them. We could dance.
They put us on stage. I want everybody to have their cameras out, their phones out, and taking videos because I need to be on the internet because I get on stage and gladly roll like that and stuff, man. So, yeah, DJ Gino, if you're listening, man, take care of JMV and I. All right?
All right. Hey, tell Layla we said hello. Have a great weekend. I'm sure I'll probably talk to you before the game on Sunday.
I'm about to take Layla's phone. And last thing, I need to hit up a tailgate next Sunday before the Colts Chiefs game. So anybody who wants to hook me up, let me know. I'll come celebrate. We'll have a good time, drink and eat.
I think we got a spot for you, buddy. I think we got you covered.
Hey, Hagen, have a great weekend, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, well, see you, brother.
It's Mike Wells right there of ESPN Radio and the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I got to get to this tweet before we hit a break. Who's your hauler, Hagen? Says, ask Hagen if it's harder to get a lap dance when your feet don't reach the floor.
Actually, they give you a discount because there's less area to cover. So, yeah, you get the 50% off. Hey, did you see this injury report?
Yeah.
You saw Shaq Leonard's out?
I did, yeah.
I thought he was trending in the right direction.
Shaquille Leonard's out. Alec Pierce is out. Kind of knew that was going to happen in concussion protocol. He's not cleared that yet. Michael Pittman Jr. and then Kenny Moore both suffered injuries. They're questionable. Both suffered injuries. And I kind of want to get the details of that Wednesday practice.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't practice today. They didn't walk through today. They went heavy apparently on Wednesday. And very physical on Wednesday. And then they said they had a physical practice, albeit in a shell, yesterday. And then the walkthrough today. But Kenny Moore and Michael Pittman Jr. ended up on the injury report as questionable by virtue of that Wednesday practice.
And then you look at the injury report for the Jaguars, no one on it. So you're going to have a fully healthy Jaguar squad on the home turf. And you got some key Jenga pieces you might be pulling out from that horseshoe on both sides of the ball. That's when you start thinking,
Desmond Patman, he should be active coming up on Sunday. So, listen, I think Michael Pittman Jr. is going to play. I think he is going to play. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about Ashton Doolin as wide receiver 1 and Paris Campbell as wide receiver 2 or vice versa there. But I think Michael Pittman Jr. will play. We'll see, but I think he will.
I mean, can a banged up Colt squad, you still expect him to go down there and win, don't you? I mean, that's the expectation. And some of it's just based on reputation. You say, this is the Colts, this is the Jaguars. But then you start thinking about how they played in week 1 for 3 quarters, and then you got some key injuries. You start getting a little nervous if you're a Colts fan.
Take it to 59, Taylor's Pub. We are in Nora, right off of Westfield Boulevard. Bud Light Blue Friday. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away. Clayton Anderson on the other side. Don Fisher, top of the hour. We need to see you here. Taylor's Pub in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard with Bud Light on a Blue Friday with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Don't leave.
This is the Colts preview on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor.
Good afternoon. Welcome into the Colts preview today, brought to you by Arby's. On game days,
how about the lyrics in that?
Classic roast beefs for just $10 at participating Indianapolis Arby's locations. That's 4 famously tender Arby's roast beef sandwiches for only $10, valid on classic size only. The Colts held a walkthrough today ahead of their Week 2 matchup with the Jaguars, and the team has ruled out 2 players leading into Sunday's game. They'll be without Shaquille Leonard at linebacker for the 2nd straight week, and also rookie wide receiver Alec Pierce will not play. He's still in the concussion protocol. Also going into the game, DeForest Buckner has a hip, as does Kenny Moore. Michael Pittman Jr. has a quad, and all of those players are listed as questionable going into the game, but Frank Reich said today that none of those injuries appear to be serious and long-lasting. The Colts put up over 500 yards of offense in Houston. They were the only team in Week 1 to do that, and they're looking to move the ball on the ground against a very good Jaguars front that features Josh Allen, first overall draft pick Trayvon Walker, and Foye Olakun at middle linebacker, who led the NFL in tackles last season. And Jonathan Taylor, who's fresh off his 6th 150-yard rushing game, talked about the challenge of that Jaguars front 7 on Sunday.
Those guys are always good defensively, especially on the ends. We got to make sure we do a great job of trying to limit those guys. They're really heck of a players. So it's just going to be on us. One, we got to use great fundamentals and technique. That's number one. If you don't have that versus those kind of guys, I mean, you're going to lose every rep. So that's number one. But then second, we got to have a mindset that these guys are going to be relentless until the clock strikes 0. So we have to match and even possibly bring more than them and as far as that regards.
That's Jonathan Taylor, and he and the Colts look to break the hex in Jacksonville. The Colts have lost 7 straight as the road team to the Jaguars, which is the 5th longest active losing streak in the NFL. Sunday's game starts at 1, coverage begins at 10, and you can hear it right here on The Fan. And that's it for the Colts preview today, brought to you by Arby's on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's JMV for CarX Tire and Auto, serving the Indianapolis market for over 40 years. 14 Central Indiana Joe Childers run locations of CarX. I'm talking absolutely everything for your car, truck, or van. Full service auto repair specialists. We're talking brakes, tires, engine alignments, exhaust, oil changes, all that and more. And how about this for a JMV special? $109.99 lifetime brake pads per axle and save $200 on a set of 4 select Continental tires. Those are the JMV specials. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to serve you. Car, truck, or van, they have exactly what you're looking for. Full service auto repair all in one place. Tell Joe Childers I sent you. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There is one near you. Find out where it is online today. It's CarX.com.
I'm Tom Shane with Shane Company. Have you ever considered what a natural diamond means to the communities where diamonds come from? Natural diamonds support the livelihood of 10 million people around the world. They provide safe, high-quality jobs in diamond mining countries, including South Africa, Botswana, Angola, and Canada, countries where many of our diamonds are recovered. They help fund women-owned businesses across Africa. Natural diamonds help provide access to health care for more than 4 million people and access to education for countless children, including over 500,000 children in rural communities. They're a powerful gift to a country's development and help ensure a lasting legacy for future generations. To learn more about the positive impact of natural diamonds, visit Shanco.com/natural-diamonds. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shanco.com.
Shot for PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. Your real growing hair, again, is just a phone call away at 888-724-5129. If you want your real growing hair again, if you want to feather that back and carry a comb in your back pocket, Phone call away, 888-724-5129. Ask for Darren Andrews at WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Co-owner Dave Magine says you not only need to invest in top quality brands like American Standard, but you also need an expert to get you the right sized air conditioner.
Hey folks, your AC performs two tasks in your home. It cools the air and lowers humidity. Both will make you comfortable, but not having the proper size will cost you money. We'll make sure you get the proper size to fit your home.
Go to B+W.com for B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
A big-time gift-giving idea of my friends from Diamonds Direct, because right now, 5-year, 0 interest with nothing down. That deal is on, but for a limited time. So if you want to go big, let's say you're about ready to pop the question. You want that relationship to go to the next level. Let's do something about it with our friends from Diamonds Direct. 5 years, 0 interest financing, nothing down, everything in the store. Splurge, go big on that anniversary gift-giving idea. Splurge or go big on what we got, looking for that engagement ring. Oh, so much with our friends from Diamonds Direct. And do it now. Diamonds Direct, diamondsdirect.com for store hours and more. On approved credit, that's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
A new Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store is now open in Meridian Meadow Shopping Center. Get ready to save up to 70% off thousands of items from your favorite athletic brands. Check out can't miss deals for the entire family, including tees, tanks, hoodies, sweatshirts, leggings, joggers, footwear, and more. Plus, new styles arrive weekly, so there's always more from the best brands. Check out your new Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store for the grand opening celebration this weekend in Meridian Meadow Shopping Center.
Come back to the ultimate rock Christmas tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Live in concert. 2 shows. Sunday, December 11th. Cambridge Fieldhouse. Millions have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestras, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more.
Hey, shop for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. DJ Skids, DJ Helicon. They're going to entertain it for you before the Colts open up at home against Kansas City. You can also get Chiefs tickets, combo that up with the Colts VIP tailgate and have yourself a blast making your game day experience the best it can be. Also, keep in mind, we're all going to Vegas coming up in November. You can be a part of that flight to and from Las Vegas, a stay over the weekend at Caesars, and a Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration Vegas style. All coming at you. All can be had. Make sure you're a part of all the festivities with BullseyeEventGroup.com. Now,
it's the biggest open-wheel racing weekend of the year, featuring the Outlaws, All-Stars, and USAC. The Four Crown Nationals, September 23rd and 24th. Buy your tickets now at EldoraSpeedway.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Look at all those ding-dongs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Taylor's Pub, everybody. North side off of Westfield Boulevard. Bud Light Blue Friday. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away, courtesy of our friends at Zinc and Bud Light. Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is here. Bob Lovell, a little bit earlier, brought to you by CarX. Your high school football game of the week for Week 5 tonight features Warren Central and Ben Davis coming up at 7 o'clock this evening right here. We got that. Don Fisher, top of the hour. Clayton Anderson in a couple of minutes. But Alex right now from the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel is with us. The JMV Takeover shirt is ready to purchase, correct?
Yeah, they're real. They're live. So go on to the shopindy.com, get yours. Proceeds benefit Teachers Treasures. I think they're only $25, so it's...
That's awesome. They look great.
Yeah, they look great. It's we need to get you make your own mixtape.
Yes.
Or a CD. It's an album cover format size-wise. So, yeah. Whoever came up with that, the artwork's great.
Yeah, I think it was downstairs in digital. Or digital.
It's got a David Bowie vibe to it.
It does have a little bit, yeah.
You were probably a pretty big David Bowie fan in your youth, right?
Well, I have that. I have one with the 90s. They made a yacht rock one, and then they have one with me when I stand there, and it looks like you can see when I'm like 13 or 12 or whatever, my grape smugglers, and you can see my grape. You can actually see my grapes.
You got a grunge one. You got.
It looks like I had
flannel
it looks like I had a chapstick in my pocket. Yeah.
No, I think it turned out great. I'm excited to print them.
Well, that's great. Now, how can people get them right now?
Go to theshopindy.com. Get your JMV Takeover shirt, not JMV Suck shirt, but your JMV Takeover shirt, and wear it proudly. And proceeds will benefit Teachers Treasures.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to get one. You get one, too. I'll tweet out again how you can go about doing that. The shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel, that's Alex right there. Thank you, my brother. The JMV Takeover T-shirts are ready to buy right now from the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel. Clayton Anderson, the Country Music Center, is going to join us on the other side. We're going to talk about the Colts a little bit more with CA, Don Fisher, top of the hour, Nora Location, Taylor's Pub on a Bud Light Blue Friday. Chiefs and Colts tickets for you a little bit later on. My suggestion, get here with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tune into The Ride with JMV this week for a chance to win tickets to see Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, September 22nd at the Murat Theater at Old National Center.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for their e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/Peaks-Club. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Oh, I so struggled with snoring. Thank you to a couple of former Hoosier basketballers, Brian Evans and Dr. Steve Green, who brought me into the Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic and said, hey, we can do something about your bed rest being hijacked. And I said, fellas, tell me more. And they did. They said it's simple. It's an affordable mouthpiece. You wear it at night, and that's going to eliminate your snoring. I tried it. It did. I love it. A complete restful night's sleep is what I get right now. Thank you, Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. 317-482-7900. Make that call today. Tell them I sent you. If you or somebody you know struggles with snoring, let's do something about it, and do something about it now at the Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. 317-482-7900. That's aurorasleep.com today.
Rally House. Shop every team in town. College and pro. Come on, it's time to go.
Get ready for kickoff, Indy. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Colts sideline gear and the latest college styles.
Pacers, Colts, Indiana Hoosiers, Boilermakers, Bulldogs, Fighting Irish. Rally House. It's your city, it's your house, it's a Rally House.
Gear up in-store and online at rallyhouse.com.
Hey, John Fikarex, your 14 Central Indiana Joe Childers run locations, the sponsor of the Bob Lovell visit every Friday right here, talking about high school sports and the high school football game of the week here on The Fan. Later on tonight features Warren Central and Ben Davis, brought to you by CarX, the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. Make sure you get in there today and maintain coming up fall road readiness. CarX.com today.
What separates high school sports from other athletic programs? We keep education in front of athletics. I'm Paul Knighty, Commissioner of the IHSAA, and I'm thrilled to introduce our new Assistant Commissioner, Janie Elmer, because I know she shares the same passion for education-based athletics.
That's right, Paul. As a former principal, teacher, and Hoosier student-athlete myself, I understand firsthand how high school sports provide a complete educational experience for students.
The real benefit of playing in the second classroom of high school sports isn't just about teams becoming better athletes.
It's about them becoming better people, building character and developing the habits they need to be successful adults in life. Accountability, teamwork, respect, perseverance. These are just some of the life lessons learned on the playing field.
It's good to have another passionate advocate for education-based athletics on the team. Welcome aboard, Assistant Commissioner Elmer.
This is the second classroom. This is education-based athletics. This is your IHSAA.
Exmark makes the mowers that care for the lawns, that set the stage for the backyard life. As the commercial mowers more landscape pros trust, Exmark mowers get you on and off the lawn without compromising cut quality, comfort, or reliability. Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life. Check out end-of-season pricing on Exmark mowers and stand-on aerator rentals right now at Midstate Truck Equipment on Allisonville Road in Fishers. Midstate Truck Equipment, 800-540-4479.
Hey, John for Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Shout out to John and Chris Love, just making sure that your system is working the way that it should. Been a tough summer for it, there's no doubt about that. We're still going to get into the lower 90s, I think, coming up here, around 90 this weekend. So, yeah, make sure you're still being cool and comfortable in your home. Get that checked up today with John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air. Online, love-hvac.com today.
Take the next step in your construction career by becoming a union carpenter.
Some of the best pay in the industry.
Amazing health and retirement benefits.
Ongoing cutting-edge training.
Creating my own career path so I can do what I love.
High safety standards.
Great employment opportunities. Why will you join the Carpenters Union? Join the 75,000 men and women in Indiana who build our communities. For more information, visit the Construction Industry Partnership at indianacip.com.
The biggest boat and RV sale of the year is back. 3 full days of year-end clearance pricing on new and used inventory. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. It's not a show, it's a sale. September 23rd through 25th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. After September 25th, these deals are gone forever. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. Buy your tickets online and save at indiesportshow.com. Another Renfro production.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, Froster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
Dodgers, Giants, Sunday Night Baseball. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
This sounds like our good friend Clayton Anderson right here. Brand new Clayton Anderson live. We're in Nora. Bud Light Blue Friday. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away. Taylor's Pub, they're going to get ready to open up a new place. I'll tell you where coming up in a bit. But yes, indeed, along with me, it's Chris Hagan. I'm JMV. Thank you for joining us. Sounds like Clayton Anderson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline has a new song. Is this true, Clayton?
Oh, come on with it now. Just representing that Indiana like crazy up and down.
I love it right there. That's well done.
Thank you very much. You know, I've been wanting to write a song about Indiana for a long time, and then it's like, oh, you don't want to let anybody down. What if they hate it? What if they don't like it? So I just said, screw everybody else. I'm just going to write it for me. So I just wrote it for myself. How'd
you work in Olytic? Is that a tough lyric to come up with something that sounds good with Olytic?
Yeah, it's like you got to check him for ticks and then Olytic. And yeah, you got to really pronounce it just right to get that thing.
Ooh, hey, once upon a time, yeah. I forget who it was on Channel 13 called it Ooh-Lytic.
Yeah.
Ooh-Lytic.
Oh, that might be the worst pronunciation I've ever heard.
Ooh-Lytic, everybody, right there.
You know it's a hillbilly small town when you've got Olytic and all the Richies who are up on top of the hill, and then you got all the poor people down the bottoms where my grandma grew up in East Olytic, and the towns together. You put them both together, and they probably ain't got 500 people.
I was always just pissed because I never went yard outside of Dollins Elementary School on that baseball diamond back in the day.
I got one. My last Little League game, I got one. I couldn't believe it. I think I cried all the way home holding that baseball. There's nothing cooler than having that home run ball. I'm sorry you didn't get one though, JMV.
No, I was only in third grade. I didn't get one when I was 9. I played my 9-year-old season with Jerry Cheney. And that particular group, I think they were a class of 85. I was a class of 88. I played with that group.
Jerry Cheney, man, the guy, the classic, he was my 8th grade basketball coach. His classic line was, excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. Never let him down.
Hey, I just saw Clayton last night. I was at the casino, like I said earlier, and I'm looking at Instagram, and I see he's live. And so I go live to watch, and next thing you know, Clayton's telling me to come on to the live.
Oh, you got up on stage last night?
No, it was on Instagram.
Oh.
So I don't know how to do that, and he explains to me. So then I didn't realize I was going to pop up, and not everybody was going to see me. So I felt stupid, Clayton. So I hope I didn't embarrass you.
Not at all. I hope you won that money out there at the casino.
I won some money, but it's funny because the modern technology about how, I'm an Anderson. I don't know where you were, but next thing you know, my big old head's popping up next to yours, and there I was. I just saw him last night, John.
Outstanding, Clayton Anderson. Hey, talk a little bit too about your new single.
Yeah, we just dropped a whole new album today. It's called Made
That's
in
awesome.
USA. I've been working on this thing since 2021. Some of the songs I've written 3 years ago. We got a new song that CMT premiered today. It's called Let Me Go, and it's like a movie. It's like a mini movie. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. It's the coolest piece of work I've ever done. You can check it out on our socials. We got it plastered everywhere right now. But things are going good right now. We just got to keep pushing. We got to get all them. We just got to get everybody to keep talking about it like a cooler moment. It's just like those Netflix shows. You got to keep telling everybody which ones you like. So hopefully we can blow this thing up soon. Get on XM Radio and take off, because we've been visiting radio all summer long, all the big guys, straight to the top. So they say this is the one. We'll figure it out if it is or not. We'll see if they put their mouth where the money is, or whatever the hell that saying is.
Well, Clayton, I think every song has been the one, because I like the whole catalog. But I talked about how I saw you on Instagram last night. You really have, from the very start, embraced all the social media, all the platforms. How important is that in this day and age of music?
Oh man, it's everything. It's where the kids are at. I don't know how. It's crazy. We played this show with some dude I'd never even heard of, and he had a lot of people show up to see him just because he's on TikTok. You just got to be. The world is at your fingertips. You just got to get out there and blast it and blast it and blast it. I mean, I love when JMV is doing a tweet, because I got my phone hit and my phone starts ringing. Go, JMV's talking about you. So
I'll be all over this thing right here. Let Me Go. That's a great song. I was big on Struggle Bus too. Let Me Go is legit right here.
You know what's funny? I think we get this one. So Let Me Go, the video for Let Me Go. I was out in Lake of the Ozarks. This is how silly I am. We're out in Lake of the Ozarks. The whole drive there, we're interviewing. We're doing Zoom meetings. I felt like one of those. Thank God it was over Zoom, so you wouldn't get in the habit of having to do those couch visits or whatever, when you're interviewing girls for a part. So it was through Zoom, so that was thankful that was that way. But there's just no girls that were fitting the part. They weren't hot enough. They just weren't fitting the role, and in my mind, of what this girl needed to look like. And that night when we played at the bar, there was this cute little redhead, and I was like, hell, that girl should be in it. That girl's better than all the girls we just looked at today. And turns out, she follows me the next day. I send her this message. I'm like, hey, this is so stupid. Would you want to be in a music video? And it turns out she's a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. And we just put her right in the music video.
Let me tell you, what a great line that is. Son of a gun. Hey, would you like to be in my music video?
My pickup line is, hey, you want to come to a bar and sit here with me and JMV? It just doesn't have the same feel to it.
Well, and mine back in 1992 was, hey, do you want to come back to where 7 guys are sleeping all over the place and hang out all night on the couch with me?
Well, first of all,
you ever seen Greene County, darling? Have you ever seen Greene County?
Hey, you want to go make out on the hay bale, honey? What do you think?
Well, the thing is, for Clayton's a good-looking guy. He's never needed a pickup line.
Yeah.
So why does he have the good one? We need all the help we can get over here.
I needed the video pickup line back in the day. I had nothing. Clayton, I had zero.
Oh, I tell you what, that guitar it's helped my chances a lot. I'll tell you that. I rode in on a chicken. I got chicken legs, ain't that big, and I'm telling you, it's the guitar was a lot better than the basketball ever did me. I'll tell you that.
The ladies swoon, for example, right up front there of the stage. If you're going to the Bluebird or something like that, the ladies are swooning. It's almost like you were Stone Carnival back in the day.
Yeah, I learned from the best. Morris County's best. I'm telling you, I love the people. You got one of the best guys in the band. That's one of your biggest fans. Listens every day. I'm telling you what.
I cannot think of "Miss You" by the Rolling Stones without hearing in my head their cover of that. I can't.
Yeah, they were great. They did the Stones just as good as the Stones, maybe.
Well,
better.
I mean, yeah, the Miss You and Emotional Rescue, I can't listen to either song without thinking of them. Ever.
Yeah. They were great. It's their fault. They suckered me into getting it. They made me want to pick up the guitar and play. I wanted to be rock star. They really, truly did.
This is Clayton Anderson with us. All right, something brand new. The single is Let Me Go. The video is out. I'll retweet the video, but make sure people can get to the new album and all this great music.
Yeah, wherever you listen to your music, we are there. We are streaming. We are on. If you're on Apple Music, we're there. Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. Just type in Clayton Anderson and let that new Made in the USA album run wild, man. Just let it go.
All right, my man Stanley Abel says it sounds great. He's got he's got you. He's listening to you and not even to us anymore. Come on, man.
Stanley, what the heck?
Come on, Stanley. Hey, keep me in mind when you want to come on and talk again, so we can build this thing up, man. It is awesome. I'm glad that you're back with new material. And stay in touch, especially when you're going to be live at places, okay?
I will do. Yeah, we got the Bluebird coming up next week, and then we got the Colts home opener show too. So we'll have to maybe if you got time for me next week, we'll come on and pump up the home opener show.
Yeah, let's do it again next Friday. We'll pump up that home opening show before the Chiefs game with you, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys. I love you, and can't wait to see y'all soon.
See you, Clayton. Clayton Anderson right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Yeah, his new album is out. Let Me Go is the single. He's got a new video to that filmed out in the Ozarks, and you'll like it. I'll retweet that coming up in a minute. Hagen, JMV, Taylor's Pub. We're on the north side at Nora. Bud Light, Blue Friday. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away. The legendary voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, on the other side. This is 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The third chapter of the trilogy is here. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin return to the ring this Saturday with the undisputed super middleweight championship on the line, and FanDuel is giving new customers a no-sweat first bet. Hey, it's Mark from Kevin and Query. Right now, new customers get up to $1,000 back in free bets if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code MARK, then bet on who will win, knockouts, when the fight will end, and so much more. I'm going to go with Alvarez in this one, but make your pick any way you want. Don't miss your chance for a no-sweat first bet when Canelo Alvarez takes on Triple G. Again, join now with promo code MARK, M-A-R-C, and that's up to $1,000 back in free bets if your first bet doesn't win, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and over and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's John here for PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Your real growing hair, again, is just a phone call away. Let's just do it. Get it done. If you want your real growing hair, 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Come back to the ultimate rock Christmas tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Live in concert. 2 shows. Sunday, December 11th. Cambridge Fieldhouse. Millions have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestras, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more.
Connecticut Water. Hey, check out Joe and John to get the greatness that is Connecticut in your home today. The Premier Series Water Softener K5 in-home drinking water station. Just a visit away. Seriously, great prices right now, and you don't know the best water. The best water to taste, the best water to bathe, the best water to launder your clothes. You don't know the best until you get Connecticut in your home. Check it out today. The 2 locations, northeast side, Castleton, south side, US 31, and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
As a roofer, every second counts. Late deliveries and incomplete orders cost me time and money. That's why I partner with Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. With Beacon, I know my supplies will be delivered on time and complete. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Go to BECN.com to get started building with Beacon. Beacon, always building.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, every day is a beach day. And with 35 miles of pristine, sugary white sand, it's easy to see why. So let's grab the beach bag, the beach ball, and the boogie board. Let's pack the suits, the sunscreen, and the sunglasses. Take a dip in the emerald green waters of the Gulf. And then take in a breathtaking sunset at the end of the day. So let's make a beeline to the beach. And let's shine. Plan your next getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Football is back, and so is your chance to win with BetRivers Sportsbook app. Featuring our new multi-game same-game parlay. Combine the action of multiple same-game parlays in one bet for more action and bigger payouts. Bet the spread, bet the over, bet player props, and more. Throw in daily odds boost plus award-winning customer service, and it's a touchdown. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Indiana only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Sundown Gardens Big Fall Sale starts Friday, 20 to 50% off nursery and perennial items, and the Fall Open House is Saturday with You Pick Pumpkins and Sunflowers, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Colts head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Coverage begins Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I want savages on the field. I want to lead the league in broken ribs. I want to put people in the hospital legally, no hitting in the head. I want them to cry and be scared to play us.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Oh, yes. This sounds like Bob Welch right here. The late, great Bob Welch in Ebony Eyes, Chris Hagan.
He was a 70s superstar with Fleetwood Mac. Did stuff and just his songwriting and just great stuff. You go back and you forget how many great songs he had.
This is a top 5 song from the decade of the 70s right here.
Oh, no doubt.
Ebony Eyes, everybody. Shout out to Sean from Maggiano's who's here to watch the show. Here is Taylor's Pub, Nora, off of Westfield Boulevard, Bud Light Blue Friday. Chiefs Colts tickets to give away coming up in just a bit. I want you guys here. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we'll ask him if he thought that song was in his top 5 of the decade of the 70s, which he certainly loves. The voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is with us. What do you think about that song? Is that a top 5 in the decade of the 70s for you?
I'm sorry, I missed the song. What song are we talking about?
Bob Welch and Ebony Eyes.
No, it's not my top 10.
Oh, well. Wow. Well, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Don, before we jump into talking about the Hoosiers, I want to be the latest of the several that have given you props for the 50th season with IU. It's just an amazing accomplishment, and just I stand in awe of what you've done and how you're still on top of your game, so just congratulations.
Well, that's really nice of you to say, Chris. I appreciate it greatly, and let's talk about something else.
Hey, I want to talk about Ebony Eyes. You just missed it. I can't believe that's
Don doesn't want to talk about Ebony Eyes. He doesn't want to toot his own horn or pat himself on the back. Don wants to get down to the X's and O's right now. But Don, just know that so many people, you're a part of the fabric of sports fans and certainly IU fans in Indiana, and it doesn't go without notice. And so, even though you don't want to talk about it, congratulations once again.
Bless you, son. I appreciate it.
It's a Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Hey, couple of things. Got into gear last week, and Don ran the football last week as well. Hopefully you're going to see some carryover against the Hilltoppers from that game last week.
Well, that's exactly right. And we hope we see carryover for sure, because it's carryover from the second half. Let's put it that way. Because the first half was a little less than was advertised, and certainly Idaho had something to do with that. They're a better team than we saw 2 years ago, but there's no question Indiana played poorly in the first half, and then they got it going in the second half. And a lot of it was because of the running game and the way the run game took off there, where Sean Shivers finally showing himself. And it was really good to see, because that offensive line has been badgered and belittled, and criticized dramatically throughout this preseason, and it's been justified in the first ball game. But at least they got it going in the second contest, and the key is, can they continue to improve it? And that's what we all hope to see tomorrow against Western Kentucky, because I'm telling you something, Western Kentucky is a really good football team, and Indiana's going to have their hands full if they don't come out there and play some of their best football.
You think about that is a program, and full disclosure, I worked in Bowling Green, Kentucky before I came here covering the Hilltoppers, and from a distance now I've watched how that program has grown and moved up to the upper division, and they put talent in the NFL, among those Jack Doyle here with the Colts. This isn't some program that you put on the schedule and say, hey, just go ahead and let's just have a cakewalk here and get a W.
That's exactly right. They're a good program. Tyson Helton has elevated everything. His transfer portal ability to recruit to that area has been tremendous. They've got a bunch of new guys this year, even though they've got several of the guys that played last year and were so effective on that football team. They just have a good program, and that's essentially what you're talking about. This is a program that is just they've risen up through the years. They take themselves seriously. They love their football at Western Kentucky, and they had the best offense in the country last year statistically. I mean, literally the best. They averaged almost 50 points a game, ran up over 500 yards a contest offensively. They're just good, and obviously Indiana coming into this matchup is going to have to be upgraded once again and have to go to play some of their best football, because this team last year gave them all they could handle in Bowling Green, and I think they're just as good, if not as good or better, this year.
Talking with Coach Allen before the season started about how last year certainly didn't go as planned, a preseason ranking and with high expectations. And the culture he's built and the foundation that's in place, you don't want this to linger. What kind of a game is this to go back out there, get to 3-0 as you get to the heart of the conference schedule, and to say, yeah, last year was a little bit of a hiccup, but the foundation is in place where this is a kind of program, we're going to be a winning program moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think, and Tom really tried to establish that in his first 4 or 5 years at Indiana, to develop a different culture, a different feel. And it looked like through the 2 years preceding last year that he had done that. Obviously, they had a great year the year before COVID with an 8-4 season, got to a bowl game. Then they come back the next year. They go 6-2 in the COVID year. And granted, some of that was because of the COVID year and some of the teams that Indiana played, Penn State, Wisconsin, those teams weren't quite as good as they were the previous seasons, but Indiana was able to take advantage of that situation, and they did so. But then last year it just fell flat on its face. It was just such a poor season in every respect, a lot of injuries on top of just poor play from a couple of really key guys. And when you looked at it, you went, oh, here we go again. Well, Tom doesn't feel that way about it. He feels like they've got a culture there. They've established something. Last year is an anomaly. That's his terminology for it. And I honestly agree with him. I think that this Indiana football program is solid. I don't think it's great yet or anything like that, but I think it's very good. And I think a lot of the things that he did in the offseason with the changing and a lot of the coaching staff, some of that, maybe those guys left, but I think the handwriting was on the wall for some of those guys too. I do think that this is a better coaching staff that they've got, even though they had to replace 5 different people. It's going to be interesting to see if this team continues to evolve, because I think they're capable of doing that. But right now, it's all about Western Kentucky tomorrow, being able to play 60 minutes of football with an offensive attack that is consistent. The defense at this point, I think, is playing pretty well. A couple of mistakes last week really cost a couple of touchdowns late in the game when it looked like Indiana should blow them out, and didn't quite get that done. But nevertheless, I do think this is a good football team, but they've got to prove it on the field. And this game tomorrow, I think, is one of those that is critical in that vein.
Well, like you said, Don, you want to play a good 60 minutes of football. You don't want to be having to to pull things out of the fire in the second half. But I think both those wins were growing experiences, and you realize if there is some adversity in a game, the old cliche, you're never out of it. You can fight back in the second half. You can fight back in the fourth quarter. So I think that builds that confidence. And as you said, last season, if you would have come out and started this season, 0-1, 0-2, you start thinking, oh, here we go again. But I think the confidence level is back with this squad, and this game would only add to that.
Yep, I think that's exactly right. And they haven't been on the road yet. They're playing at home. That gives them even more confidence, I think. So, again, I think this is a big ball game for Indiana. I think a big game psychologically. I think it's really important for this football team to gain that confidence as they go through this early part of the year. And let's face it, if they win that game to 3-0, they've already got one game past what they were able to accomplish last year in the entire season. So I think it's big. I think it's big psychologically for this ball club.
It's IU Western Kentucky coming up tomorrow. That kick is at noon down in Bloomington, 11 a.m. downstairs on 93 WIBC. And they'll have the pregame show for you right there. Are you on your way to Columbus North?
Actually, I'm on my way to Chittard to see Columbus North tonight. I am. My grandson, of course, as I told you guys last week, is co-captain on the team. And they played Cathedral and got pounded pretty good by the Irish, but I think this will be a different story tonight. I think they'll be very competitive with a good Columbus North ball club.
Yes, for some reason I thought that was down at Columbus North, but that's up here?
No, it's actually at Chittard, yeah.
Okay, all right, yep. So I gotta go to Roncalli and get Blake later on tonight, and then Jennings County tomorrow morning for me, Don, for a little cross-country meet at 6 o'clock in the morning. You want to be there? Oh, yeah. I'm not doing it, but I'm not running.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't make it, John. I apologize.
I'm not doing it. I'm the one that would cut through the woods back in the days of cross country. I wouldn't run the course. I'm cutting through the woods on that. So, but no, seriously, it was good to see. Go ahead.
I said, trust me, I don't blame you. Cross country would not be my sport either. I hated running.
Yeah, no, well, me too. I always viewed it as punishment, but for some reason my kid digs it. So, whatever. To each his own, Don. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Is that because your wife was really a good runner and fast?
No, I don't think either one of us could run. Well, she could run better than me. I never wanted to. I mean, hash mark to hash mark basketball-wise was cool. On the base paths, that was cool. But, yeah, as far as, running long distances like that, because he does track long distance and then cross-country, yeah, that wasn't a part of my program back in the day, Don. I can tell you that.
Anybody that runs like that or does the marathons and all that kind of stuff, I want to go, what's wrong with that guy?
Yeah, so, you are so right. Hey, did that late start because of the weather, did that have any effect going back to Saturday night, you think at all? I was going to bring that up a little bit earlier, and I'd forgotten about it until now. Did that have an effect at all, you think?
It might have, but look, it was the same for both teams. Both teams had to play in a downpour for the first half. You can't really use that as an excuse because it wasn't different for either. And both teams had the same problem. So I honestly believe that Indiana just didn't play very well in that contest. And look, like I said before, Idaho's a much better team than they were the year before. I think it's a ball club that has much improved in just 1 year's time with a new coach. And they are very competitive, and they're going to be competitive and probably have a good chance to win their conference. So I think it's just a better football team than Indiana played, and maybe Indiana was looking past them a little bit. If they were, that's a huge mistake. But I can tell you one thing, Tom Allen preached and bellyached all week long to his team that this was not the same team that they played the year before, and they apparently did not listen very well.
Yeah. It's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Again tomorrow, Western Kentucky and IU. That's a noon kick, 11 a.m. Your pregame coverage starts downstairs on 93 WIBC. Don is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Thanks, as always, for a Friday. Have a great call coming up tomorrow. We'll be listening, and we'll talk again next week and lead into Cincinnati, I guess, next week, correct?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Tomorrow's a biggie, though. We got to get that one out of the way first, guys.
You got it, buddy. Have a great time tonight watching Chittard and Columbus North.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. See you guys.
Yeah, it's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline.
For those fantasy owners and gamblers and people who just were watching last night, Justin Herbert, we now know what he's ailing with. He has a fractured rib cartilage. Not as bad as a fractured bone, but still not ideal for your franchise quarterback. That means he heaved that point spread covering touchdown with a fractured rib cartilage, and that's perhaps why he chucked that ball out of bounds instead of continuing to take one more step when he could have converted that play. So that tells you what a gamer he is. You've seen guys in the past, a.k.a. Andrew Luck, who go out there and complete a game in a great deal of pain. And so just the latest example of how these NFL quarterbacks are different people.
Well, and for the Colts, by the way, in case you missed this a little bit earlier today, Alec Pierce did not clear concussion protocol, so he is not going to play coming up on Sunday. Shaquille Leonard, according to Frank Reich, is not ready to go for Sunday as well, so he'll miss his second consecutive game at the start of this season. And then you have a couple of question marks, and those question marks started back on Wednesday during what was described as a very physical practice. Now, give a little background to this. They did not practice today. They did a walkthrough, but no practice as they normally would do, and that's very out of the ordinary. They didn't do it today because of the physical nature of the Wednesday practice, and they kind of said the physical, taxing nature of the practice they had in Shells yesterday. But go back to Wednesday. Michael Pittman Jr. said he felt something. Injury-wise, he is listed as questionable. That happened in that practice on Wednesday. And apparently Kenny Moore also had an injury situation in that practice on Wednesday. He is also listed as questionable. To me, I think Michael Pittman Jr. gives it a go. I'd also be surprised if Kenny Moore doesn't as well on Sunday. But two injuries that we saw coming away from that physical practice back on Wednesday.
Well, let's face it. We've seen guys get hurt in non-contact drills and warm-ups and just it's sports. You can get hurt. You practice, pads, whatever. It's going to happen. So I don't think you can put too much into that and say, well, what kind of practice was it? That's just part of the game.
Well, I mean, I think anybody out there would suggest, after that effort, with only the fourth quarter being something you can look back on and smile about, I guess, if you want to smile after a tie. But that was basically it, that maybe these guys, I talk about all the time, somebody seems like maybe the voice needs to be a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit more outspoken, maybe a little bit more open, because these guys have still yet to really respond to what Frank's been preaching, and that's been a detriment to this team.
Well, when I went into the locker room Sunday in Houston and we interviewed Hot Rod, I commented to some of my colleagues afterwards, I want to see him throwing his chair across the room or breaking his hand because he punched the locker room. He just kind of got dressed and turned around and said, well, yeah, you get opportunities and counted on me. And where's that emotion from? Where is that this means the world to me? Which I know it doesn't, but the fan base and idiots like us wanted to get that indication that it matters as much as it does to the fans, to them, and that he kind of seemed matter-of-fact about it, and that's just his personality. But you want it to mean something, and you want it to be yeah, we're sick and tired of getting our asses kicked on the road against Jacksonville. And that's maybe the mentality has to be, don't focus on that because it can get inside your head a little bit. But yeah, it is interesting, as you said when I heard earlier.
I think about it from this standpoint. I mentioned this regarding Shaquille Leonard's comments yesterday of, all the talk is about Jacksonville, and to paraphrase, talking about Jacksonville being just kind of, week 2, just another game. And to me, I would love to hear these guys. I'll give you a great example. I love hearing Jonathan Taylor saying, this is a big deal. We remember what happened last year. Because it wasn't just a loss. It wasn't just they were bounced from the postseason. But the Jacksonville team, they were laughing. They were clowning. They were having enjoyment at the expense of the Colts. And those guys on this Colts team that are still with them, to me, should carry a little bit of anger and a chip on their shoulder. And I think the fan base here would love to see something like that. And in fact, a guy like Shaquille Leonard, is where he is at this competitive level because of his talent, athleticism, and because that chip on the shoulder. We see it all the time in social media from him. So I don't know why that wouldn't transfer well to just saying, you know what, we're sick and tired of this. We're going to put an end to it. I know you don't want to call your shot, but at the same time, I think the fan base would love to hear a little bit more of an inspiration about the meaningfulness of this game than us just talking about it. Also, your head coach, knowing what the situation is for him and how if you come out of this thing 0-1-1, how detrimental this is for him moving forward with Kansas City and Tennessee on the horizon.
I think you have to go into it thinking you don't want to say, like, this is the must-win end of the season if we lose, because if you go down there and lose and you're 0-1-1, you don't want the team to feel like, oh, well, now we're cooked because Coach said we have to win this or else. So I can understand that aspect of it. But there is a fine line about having the urgency in your voice and in your message against, let's not blow it out of proportion. Yeah. You've seen this team start 0-1, 0-2 before and still go on to make the playoffs.
I think it's past time to hear something. I think they need that. We haven't seen that.
Are you talking about a Bull Durham moment where he says, scare him?
Yeah.
And he goes in there and he throws all the bats in the shower and he goes crazy.
Well, I mean, Frank's never going to do that.
Yeah.
He's never going to do something like that.
Did you watch that? What's the guy's name? He's the head basketball coach at Arizona now. He was an assistant.
No,
forever
it was
Gonzaga.
Tommy. Yes.
Yeah. Did you? They had it's kind of like Hard Knocks, but it was on Showtime, and they followed Gonzaga throughout the season. And Mark Few's kind of a quiet guy, and the Tommy guy, he was the drop the hammer guy. He was dropping the F-bombs and yelling at the players. He was that guy. So maybe Frank doesn't have to be the guy.
Tommy Lloyd, by the way.
But you need a guy who's going to go in there and be the, scare him. Go in there and make him know. And maybe that trickles down from there. But, from the top to the bottom, the message is, hey, we're going to go 1-0. We're going to get 1% better. We're going to go. And then, the message is not we're going to go 0-1 this week. The message needs to be 1-0, and it needs to be carried through.
It just hasn't seemed that there's been much of a positive reaction with the 1% better routine and all that. And I think people are looking for a little bit something more because at this point, this looks like a lot of what we saw a year ago that most people got tired of watching at times.
Well, people got down on Pagano because he had his little cliches, he would say.
Yeah.
And the cliches are fine if you're winning divisions and winning games, but the cliches kind of get old quick if you're losing to Jacksonville for, an eighth time in a row on the road.
Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is with us. We're live at Taylor's Pub. We're in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard. We got your opportunity to win if you want. I think they're playing a football game out back here. Chiefs and Colts tickets. We're giving away a pair of Chiefs and Colts tickets. Go to see a Bud Light on a Blue Friday as well. We'd love to see you here. Great food and ice cold Bud Light. They also are going to be opening up a new location, Taylor's Bar and Table in Ingalls, Indiana. So Ingalls is off of I-69. If, for example, you're on your way to Anderson, they are officially opening up a new location, Taylor's Bar and Table in Ingalls. That is South State Road 13 in Ingalls, Indiana. Tonight is the opening night, 6 p.m. until midnight. If you're up and around Ingalls, Lapel, Pendleton, that area, and you drop in, make sure that they know that we sent you. It is the grand opening of Taylor's Bar and Table in Ingalls, Indiana. That is coming up later on tonight. John Price is going to join us. Chris Hagan rejoins us, and we'll close out this show live from Taylor's Pub coming up at the top of the hour and get you to Colts Happy Hour right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
There it is. Kick is on its way. It's up, and it is no good.
It did not take too long for them to make this decision.
When you are handed the opportunity to win a football game from 42 yards out and you miss it that badly.
If you're talking about it.
So now you're out looking for somebody else.
We're talking about it.
Your home for Indy sports. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Ball State football is back in Muncie this Saturday. It's family weekend as the Cards take on Murray State at 2 p.m. Secure tickets at ballstatesports.com or charge by phone 888-BSU-TICKET.
Dan Dockich here. I'm here to tell you about Moondrops Distillery, classic spirits from the heart of Fortville, Indiana. Let's talk about their vodka, a premium, crisp, and clean spirit with exceptional taste that passes through a custom-built charcoal filtration process. Recently won the gold medal in the Micro Liquor Spirits Award competition also. Pick up a bottle of their new Bonfire Blends, Lemon Shake-Up, and Peppermint, plus other classic bourbon and rum. MoondropsDistillery.com to find a retailer. Moondrops Distillery, experience something special.
Hey, John, for CarX, 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. CarX and my friend Joe Childers brings you the high school football game of the week coming up later on tonight. That is Warren Central and Ben Davis at 7. That and keeping your car, truck, or van fall road ready with that season coming up here in the not-so-distant future. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations and a proud sponsor of the high school football game of the week. To find that location nearest you, CarX.com today.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM Rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM Rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets. It's never been easier to join the action on the new BetMGM app, featuring a fresh redesign with improved features and quicker navigation. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM Rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program, including exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager with BetMGM. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to take advantage of BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, it's BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Got you set up and ready to have the best game day experience. For the Colts and the Chiefs matchup, that is a week from Sunday. All you can eat, all you can drink when the Bullseye Event Center opens up at 10 a.m. right across from Lucas Oil Stadium. DJ Skids and DJ Helicon with the entertainment. It is going to be a blast. You can get those passes and also combine that with tickets to the game if you want. And also think about this. In November, we're going to Vegas, and I want you to be a part of it, too. It is going to be a great trip to and from, back on a chartered flight. We're going to stay at Caesars, have a Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration in Las Vegas, and then going to the Colts and Raiders game. All a part of this package in November. Sign up and make sure you're a part of it today. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Yeah, that's right. I bet you didn't expect to see me here. Well, here I am. Let me tell you about a little something called respect. You ever heard of it? You know what? I think it's
You're good at using your time in the shower to replay conversations and say what you should have said. We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
I think it's time for you to get out of there. You should just leave.
College football this Saturday on The Fan is brought to you by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer serving Central Indiana.
Sometimes an injury or death happens due to someone else's mistake. Find justice with the injury attorneys at Parr Ritchie at 317-269-2509. PARRinjury.com.
There it is. Snap, placement, kick is on its way. It's up, and it is no good. No good.
It did not take too long for them to make this decision.
When you are handed the opportunity to win a football game from 42 yards out and you miss it and miss it that badly.
If you're talking about it.
So now you're out looking for somebody else.
We're talking about it.
Your home for Indy sports. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. Ride with JMV.
Thank you for your support.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Thank you very much, everybody that's watching. Me, Chris Hagan, right here. We're in Nora off of Westfield Boulevard at Taylor's Pub and Grill. Bud Light Blue Friday. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Cam's the on-site engineer. Kyle's back in the studio. Sienna's doing the promotions out here as they're having the football throwing contest. We also are just going to randomly giving away a pair of Chiefs-Colts tickets. That's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Colts Happy Hour, top of the hour. It is an hour's worth of Colts information. No Alec Pierce, no Shaquille Leonard on Sunday. Kenny Moore, DeForest Buckner, Michael Pittman Jr. all questionable, and expect Desmond Patman to be active coming up on Sunday, and they have yet to decide, Chris Hagan, on a kicker. I'm assuming it's going to be McLaughlin.
You would think so.
I mean, you're not going to pull out some dude that's never kicked before, right, down there?
Well, yeah, they had Haversick, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
They had him in camp earlier, in training camp, so he's not foreign to them. But, yeah, I think you go with a guy that's got NFL experience, and I think...
Who was 40% between 40 and 49 last year.
I think
that's solid.
He's played in for 10 different teams or something crazy. So that's why you sign both of them. You give them a look, and you're hoping it doesn't come down to a crucial kick that you need to have to beat the Jags.
What'd you make of the Jaguars in week number 1? We were talking to a couple of different guys this week, and, Christian Kirk was the guy that got off to a good start. He was a highly questioned free agent signing by them, kind of set the market really high, as it has been for wide receivers. And, you had Etienne, you had Robinson, both playing. Robinson had a really good afternoon, and Washington coming up short, but showed that they can play a little bit of offense, which is the expectation, I guess, the Colts see on Sunday.
Yeah, and when you get a stud quarterback out of college, you start building around him. So that's what you try to go do, and you try to say, we're going to put some points on the board and try to go out there and outscore people. Oh, my Lord. This is the best part of the show, John. I know it's good radio, but this lady's chucking the football here, trying to win some.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think, the Jags are better, but they're still a team the Colts should beat.
All right, joining us now via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from sportsinformationtraders.com at 866-441-2711. Our friend John Price is on the show right now. John, good afternoon. How are you?
It sounds like I'm missing some great activity where you are, huh?
There's a lot of activity where we are right now. No doubt. There's activity, and there's some weirdness here because this, week 2 is easily said, John, is, hey, the long season, but there's some stuff going on with this Colts matchup down in Jacksonville. They haven't won there since 2014. We saw how the Jaguars did them at the year end back in January. They tie in week 1 in Houston, which is not at all ideal. There's just a lot of stuff floating around here right now as far as this Colts team.
Oh, yeah, there is. We're going to break the game down in a little bit, but I got to tell you, I think people should not overreact to 1 week of football. I know it happens because, there's less preseason games now, so we only see teams come up for 3 practice games, and we don't see the stars play a lot, and then all of a sudden when the games count, you see a game like Dallas and Tampa, and everybody thinks Dallas at home, glitz, glamour, healthy, going for it. Tom Brady maybe having marital problems, disconnected, and Tampa Bay just goes and rolls Dallas in the process. Like, there's just so much that happened in week number 1. And, what's really important from a wagering standpoint is that you can look and you can digest what happened in week 1, but you cannot relate it to week 2. So what the Colts went through with the Texans has absolutely no bearing on how they match up with the Jaguars, and I'll get to that matchup here in a minute, but I want to let people know that there is college football tonight, and we have a private play tonight. We got a lot of private plays coming between now and the Super Bowl, and we want everyone in Indianapolis who's interested in wagering, and there are many of you out there listening to me right now, you have a chance to sign up for our season. From now through the Super Bowl, you'll get 40% off. Your first play is tonight. Your last play is Super Bowl Sunday, and in between, you'll work with one of my analysts. We'll manage you through 100 plays of college and NFL football. Everybody's wagering. Here's the difference, though. Most of you are wagering on your own, which means you're not really sure what you're betting on, and you're probably betting too much. So let us show you the games to be on and the amounts to play. Very important. This is how you sustain the investment and you make it work. go to our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. Again, it's sportsinformationtraders.com. And today, get 40% off on the rest of the season. Now to the Super Bowl. First play tonight. There's college football tonight.
When you think about it, as you said, obviously, gamblers and TV viewers love the fact that we have games almost every night of the week, and I love the Friday night college football games as well. You talk about overreacting as a fan or like as watching the market. We were talking earlier before you joined us about how 11 of the 16 NFL games went under in week one, and then we start off with a narrow under last night. Is that something you think that's normal when you think about the first couple of weeks of an NFL season where teams didn't play everybody in the preseason and they tend to go under early, or is that an anomaly, you think?
I think last week when we came on your show, I broke down the game, and I did call for the under. And I think one of the things that I specified that I truly believe is that week one, I believe defenses are ahead of offenses, especially when you see changings of the guard, like with the Indianapolis Colts. You know, Wentz is out, Matt Ryan is in. And so I really believe, and you saw it last week. I mean, it was sort of a struggle early on in the game, kind of a lazy, low-scoring game, and then the Colts get back in it, and then both teams kind of struggle, and I think you kind of see that. These teams are built to score a lot of points, but early on, the defenses are always a little bit ahead of the offenses. I'm not overly surprised, and we did get some feedback giving out the under last week, which is great. And you want me to go into the Colts-Jaguars game? I'm sure everybody's...
I want to make sure everybody has your number again, John. 866-441-2711. That's sportsinformationtraders.com. This is John Price, and of course, I think we're all kind of sitting around and wondering. There are a lot of dynamics working in this Jacksonville game. A couple I mentioned, John, a little bit earlier, and then you got some injury concerns also factoring in. What are your thoughts sitting here right now about the Colts in Week 2 in Jacksonville Sunday?
Well, the line opened at Colts -5, and it's now Colts -3.5. So that tells you that the public money lean is on the hometown Jaguars, and it's a reaction. I mean, the Jaguars played spirited last week. They were down. They came back. Let's talk about the Colts, though. We know they need to play better right from the start. You can't put yourself behind against a mediocre team like Houston, and fortunately they came back. They made some plays. They were dominant in the fourth quarter. They only gave up 12 yards in the fourth quarter to Houston and erased that 17-point lead. When I came on your show last week, I said that for the Colts to be successful, they've got to be able to run the football very well. Last year, in the first 4 weeks of the season, they did not. Last week, Jonathan Taylor, 161 yards and a touchdown. That's beautiful because that right there lessens the pressure that Matt Ryan has to get acclimated with his offense. This week, I think they'll have success, and they're going to play a Jacksonville team which had an interesting game of their own. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good last week against Washington. They were down 14-3. They kind of looked like the same old Jaguars. You blinked, and they were suddenly up 22-14, and they didn't get much of a running game going either, but their defense played much, much better. Now they're home. I think they're starting to sort of blossom a little bit. I don't know that necessarily the Jaguars are thinking, hey, we have the Colts numbers. I think this is what fans talk about. The players themselves know that it's really about talent and execution. And with this particular game, here's what I think, and I want people to understand how I'm laying this out. I think this is going to be a close football game. In the end, 17-16, could be 28-27. I'm not looking at the total here because these two teams are really going to try to dictate their own pace. But 3.5 points, I think I want those points in my pocket when I'm sniffing out a close game. So my play here is to take the Jaguars plus 3.5 over the Colts. Now, let me say this on the back end for people that don't know what that means. The Colts could easily win this game by 1, 2, or 3 points, and I think they're the better team. But I think in terms of wagering, you're not looking necessarily for who's going to win the game. You're looking for who's going to cover. And I think the value here is taking points in what I think is going to be a close game. So take the Jaguars plus 3.5 over the Colts. Everybody's going to be watching that game. I hope, for everybody listening, that the Colts win and keep it rolling, get to 1-0-1. But we are going to be on some very big plays this weekend. We're going to be on a big one tonight, literally in a few hours. give us a call, 866-441-2711, or go to sportsinformationtraders.com. We have 100 plays. Number one is tonight, and we're going to give it to you for 40% off now through the Super Bowl. So when you sign up, you call in, and you sign up. One of my analysts will be working with you from now to the Super Bowl, and you do not have to do this alone. You're going to have people working in your office who are betting on their own. You're going to come across friends, classmates, whatever, who are betting on their own, and their bankrolls are going down because they have no control. They lose a couple games on Sunday, and suddenly they're trying to win it all back Sunday night, and then they wake up Monday morning really uncomfortable. You need somebody in your corner. I mean, you going to buy a house alone? No. So don't do this alone. Let us help you. Go to sportsinformationtraders.com. We're the experts in this area, and we'll help you win 40% off on the entire season beginning right now. Go to our website, and let's get going. Let's get started with tonight's game.
That is John Price, 866-441-2711. Sportsinformationtraders.com. John, thank you as always. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk at you again next Friday.
Everything's still crazy at the bar, or is everything simmered down a little bit?
It is very crowded, and as you would expect, a Friday, everybody getting off the work after 5 o'clock type of deal. We rejoice in this, John. We really do. We thrive in this area.
Everybody's working hard. You deserve whatever beverage is in front of you, all of you. So enjoy yourself.
No doubt. No doubt. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
It's John Price on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline.
Stand up and check out this guy chucking the football.
I'm going to stand up. You guys, all the YouTube Live, are going to see.
You got to see the shirt.
My ass right
see the
here.
Shirt he's wearing.
All right, hold on.
Check him out.
I got to get a shot of this. That's a JMV Suck shirt out there.
He's got some type of fanny pack phone carrier.
Look at that.
He's chucking them. I wish he'd hit you in the face with that. He's had a couple of cocktails.
He's about to fall over when he threw that right there.
I know people love listening to you all week long, but you got to come out to the remotes. Man.
Oh, man.
It's so much more to the JMV experience.
Especially you guys inside the lounge via YouTube Live, because you can also come out here and then go ahead and crank it up inside the lounge while you're here. It's like we're doing right now.
As Van Hagar once said, it's the best of both worlds.
Well, he did, didn't he? They did, didn't they?
He cranked the pipes he had.
The best of both worlds. Matt Taylor and I used to argue about David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar. There's no doubt David Lee Roth in his prime was much better, but I probably did not give Hagar enough credit for cranking out some good tunes with Van Halen back in the late 1980s.
They had way more. I mean, people say they sold out. They had way more top 40 hits with Sammy than they ever had with David.
I think that would have happened anyway, because that was all created by 1984.
Yeah.
And that was still with David Lee Roth. They would have still cranked out top 40 hits even with David Lee Roth.
You think about the geniuses are like Bruce Springsteen's career so long because his voice was always just kind of deep, but a guy like David Lee Roth, who's relying on those pipes like that, you knew that was going to be an Axl Rose. That you couldn't just sustain that with those, the vocal range they had. That wasn't going to be that way forever. So it is. They live in that moment. You want to hear the recordings of Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2. Those are the premier releases from them.
Haig and me on the other side. We'll get you to Colts Happy Hour coming up at the top of the hour. Taylor's Pub, we're in Nora on a Bud Light Blue Friday. Somebody's going to win some Chiefs Colts tickets here. This reminder, Buffalo Wild Wings on Monday, Chris Hagan, in Speedway with Bud Light. It's a Blue Monday in Speedway at Buffalo Wild Wings. On Monday, we'll also have Chiefs Colts tickets for you there. That's in Speedway on Monday at Buffalo Wild Wings. Quick break. We'll return. Hagan and I back to Taylor's Pub on a Bud Light Blue Friday. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tune in to Kevin and Query this week around 9:30 for a chance to participate in the Daily Pop Quiz. If you win, you'll receive a Jiffy Lube signature oil change.
This is Ryan Newman for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I love my family, and I appreciate every moment we spend together. We've talked about some pretty tough stuff over the years, and one thing they know for sure is that I've signed up to be an organ donor. So the next time you're with your family, take a moment and let them know you love them, and be sure they know your decision to be an organ donor. You can learn more at DonateLifeIndiana.org.
Hey, let's get you that real growing hair again. If you wanted to be like Steve Alford in 1983 with the butt cut, it's parted right down the middle, feathered on the side, carry that comb in your back pocket. You may not shoot free throws like him, but you could still have that hair, that bi-level haircut at Command Performance, that look of your real growing hair again, just like it was when you were 12 years old. You can still have it. 888-724-5129. It's really genius, whether we're talking about multi-unit hair grafting or artist robotic FUE or laser hair therapy. And then the after treatments, PRP, platelet-rich plasma, it works. And every single day there's something new to help inspire your real hair growth again. Technology is genius, and so are the great folks, Darren Andrews and the gang at PAI, 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
As a master jeweler at Shane Company, I take pride in my work. Every time I set a diamond into an engagement ring, I think about what this ring means to the couple, how it symbolizes their connection and dreams for the future. At Shane Company, our rings have stronger prongs to secure the center stone. There's more gold in the structure of the rings, and the quality shows. Every day in the jeweler workshop is different because every couple has a unique way of personalizing their engagement ring. Instead of a round diamond for the center stone, they might choose a pear-shaped diamond or an oval-shaped blue sapphire. Not only do we set stones, we resize rings, polish them, we can easily add engravings, and we also fix heirloom jewelry. No 2 days in the workshop are ever alike. So whether you're buying your engagement ring at the store or online, just know that a master jeweler has added their personal touch, and they know how much your ring means to you.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. Learn more today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join this crummy snobatorium? But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Frankie Valli, everybody. Number 9 at 239-1070. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons invade the Mural National Center.
We're going to bring pitchforks. Did you see?
That's coming up on the 22nd. Tickets right now for you.
Jersey Boys?
No.
Great show.
You like Frankie Valli?
I mean,
you like this song?
I like the
show.
show.
Is he saying
better.
right here, "My eyes adore you, though I've never laid a hand on you"? Is that what he said?
You were a million miles. I mean, I think it's a nice song about stalking somebody that's like a hot chick. I think it's pretty good message.
It's not as stalkerish as "Into the Night" by Betty Mardones.
No, that was more of
She's just 16 years old.
Leave her alone, they say. That was more of a felony type song than a stalking song.
Yeah, that's a problem. So is 17. She's only 17.
Winger. Kip Winger. If you go back and listen to songs and watch movies we grew up with, a lot of them, like you watch them now, you're like, oh no, because the times have changed.
Hey, let me give you a music playing dilemma that I have. We're back at Taylor's Pub here on the north side, Nora, Westfield Boulevard, Bud Light Blue Friday, Chiefs Colts tickets to give away coming up. Colts Happy Hour, top of the hour. All right, I played Betty Mardones and Into the Night and don't think twice about it. Yet, I don't play, and I haven't played 17 by Winger. I would probably also play Sexy in 17, My Little Rock and Roll Queen by Stray Cats, and not bat an eye about that. So why is Winger and 17 different than the other two underage, really awkward-sounding songs
because
of this era?
Winger says she's only 17 about 35 times in the song. Kind of like Rock the Cradle of Love by Billy Idol in that video.
Yeah.
Makes you feel kind of dirty now. You watch that video, you're like,
That's I can't stand that Billy Idol song. I never did like Cradle of Love.
Did you like Billy Idol, though?
I love Billy
he's
Idol.
Awesome.
Love Billy
I saw him
Idol.
when I was in 9th grade on the Rebel Yell tour. Yeah, it is. When I was working in, we saw you throwing the football out there.
He's going back. Get back in there, man.
I hope we've I hope we haven't seen his best yet because that was bad. Yeah, it is funny, like how songs, like that song when I was in kindergarten, that song "Afternoon Delight" was like my favorite song.
Yeah,
and now you get older.
No idea what it meant.
I thought it was about ice cream. I thought
it was like soap operas. Gonna find my baby, gonna hold. They were talking about having sex
in the afternoon.
Come on,
little
now.
Afternoon Delight.
A little afternoon sexing going on there. So, yeah. Anyway, that was my dilemma on underage songs right there.
Is this show over in 9 minutes?
You probably, thankfully, to everybody.
Are we going to give our picks? Do you want my pick?
I do. We'll start with you, and I already gave mine yesterday with our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. I will say this regarding our Colts picks, Hagen. I view this more as, if they don't, this is going to be such a stinking mess next week. I don't care if they did tie last week. I don't care if it wasn't a loss. 0-1-1 in these first two games would be viewed as completely unacceptable, and that's not just me, the hack afternoon radio host talking.
Right.
I mean, this is exactly how the owner is going to feel, and it would suck to see them put themselves in that situation after what they went through, that long off season last year after that embarrassment in Jacksonville. I find it hard to believe that they will, but without any success since 2014 against Jacksonville on the road there or in London, and then the way that they've just played in basically 7 out of the last 8 quarters, that leaves me to think about it a little bit harder. I just can't imagine it because that's going to send us all into a spiral on Monday morning if they lose that on Sunday.
I mean, and think about the big picture. If they drop this one, and then you'll have the Chiefs with 10 days rest.
Yeah.
If they drop this one and you're looking at 0-2-1,
right,
facing the Titans, and you're like, that would be the season on the line. You got to win this game. I know we just heard from the expert who says take the Jags plus the points. Right now it's sitting at Colts favored by 3, and by hook or by crook, I got to believe the Colts find a way to win. I'm going to say the Colts win 20-17.
Kyle, make your pick back there.
I'm going with the Colts. I think it is. I'm pretty close to Hagen there. I picked 21-17.
If the Colts lose this one, Kyle, I'm not picking the Colts to win the rest of the season.
Are we thinking more because you can't imagine if they lose, or because you believe that they're going to win, though?
I believe they're going to win. I believe Matt Ryan is a crafty veteran. He'll find a way to go win down there.
Kyle?
I agree. Yeah, and I think no matter what they're saying publicly, that game last January has to motivate them, right?
I hope so. All right, Taylor's Pub. Hope so, for their sake. Taylor's Pub at Nora. We continue on with Colts Happy Hour next. What a great show today. YouTube Live, you guys have been fantastic all week. Love you guys, too. We'll come back on the other side, give you some Colts Happy Hour. Get you, my man, good to see you. Get you updated on everything next. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Don't leave. I'm back with you coming up.
One